What's up, y'all? It's your boy, Hilliard Guest, and you guys are listening to the Screenwriters Rant Room. We keep it real, we keep it opinionated, we keep it what, everybody? Game all day. Yeah. On this show, we discuss entertainment, TV, film, music, culture, but our focus is always screenwriting, stories, craft, and shit like that. Y'all hear the chorus? Y'all hear the East St. Louis gospelettes in here and shit? Look at that. We gonna get it for y'all today. So please make sure you guys support the show, follow us, like it, subscribe to the show, all that good stuff. Screenwritersrantroom.com. We got a lot of dope stuff on there, archives, all kind of resources, everything on there. We have a brand new Screenwriters Rant Room YouTube page, so make sure you guys follow that, subscribe to the show. Lots of videos, lots of clips, lots of good stuff. I see you, Jade, nodding, going, I told you to tell you that. Thank y'all. Appreciate y'all. So if you guys are grown, we're going to jump on in. So to the left, we're going to start to the left, like, hey, there it is. Writer, producer himself, SAEED CRUMPLER in the building. What's happening?
How you doing, man? Glad to be back.
Yes, it did.
You know, Screenwriters Rant Room, always do the end of the year.
Yes, it did.
Kind
of
like,
did it with release the last 3 years. Yeah.
Kind of like our Spotify wrap up,
Yes,
kind of,
yes,
you know what I mean?
yes,
But I'm excited to be here, man, and just happy for the new year.
Right.
You know, positive.
Yes,
for the new
I
year.
like that. I'll take that. And then I got my man, executive producer himself in the building, TRACY Grant. What's happening?
Good to see you, brother. Always
sir.
nice to be back on the mic, back here with the Rant Room team. We have a packed house today.
Yes,
It's a
indeed. Let me hear y'all.
year-end episode.
Exactly.
So we are in celebration mode today, and we're all gonna help each other refocus, lift each other up, keep banging. Let's get out here.
Yeah.
Let's create this art, and let's get this paper doing it.
Yes, sir. And then, of course, last but not least, the one and only CARL SEATON in the building.
What's up? How you doing, man?
Director, producer himself, killing the game out there right now.
Yeah, always happy to be here, man. Huge fan of the show always.
Thank you, man.
Like, so honored to be here as always.
Yes, indeed. I love you, Carl. You always come through. Every time I call you, you're like,
you
bro,
know,
I'm there.
Hey, brother, we go way back now.
Yes,
man.
indeed.
So,
How far you go back? Way back.
way back. You call them to show up, man.
Indeed.
Always, because you give so much to so many people.
Yes.
And touch so many folks.
Thank
Man.
you, man.
You know, I mean, I don't want to go on a tangent, but just like last week, listening to Trey, in his interview mentioned Doughboy. Doughboy doesn't.
Right.
Thank you, man. And I remember those days when Doughboy would screen short films the last Wednesday of the month.
Right.
And every moment, every event, he would have everybody stand up and say, okay, what do you do?
Right.
What do you do? What do you do? He said, your next project is in this room, as opposed to trying to look up and out, build from within. So I say that because every week this podcast is dropping gems that I apply to my work ethic and my arsenal. So it's needed, it's necessary. So anytime you ask me, I'm going to show up.
100%.
I appreciate that. Carl's always telling me, like, every Monday he be in the gym listening to the
show.
show.
Yeah, man. That's my ritual.
That's
my ritual. That's why it's always crazy seeing you say it. I'm like, because usually it's in here. I'm like, wow, he actually said it first.
It's funny. A director hit me last week and was like, man, I was just listening to you on Hilliard. So,
funny.
you know what I'm saying? It's like, man, y'all always be dropping bombs. So, it's definitely being felt throughout the creative community.
Absolutely.
Man.
Yeah, man. Thank you. So today, here's what we're going to talk about today. And a lot of shit, because there's a rant room. We might be going back talking about some hip hop shit.
Right.
But
You can do that.
But we're going to start here. So every year, I've been doing it since I started. I do this episode, which I call my plans versus my goals episode. And here's what I'm talking about. Let me just describe it to the kids who don't know what I'm talking about. So basically, it works like this. Now, you all know I be in the gym a little bit. You know, I ain't, Tyson the model, but I be doing my shit. I do my 1s and 2s and shit.
Yes, sir.
Shut up, bro. I don't be doing my 100-day fast and shit, but I be in
100 days is crazy.
What do you say, 5 days?
100 hours.
100 hours.
Same thing.
That's fire.
So here's how I look at it. I try to compare a lifestyle of being on a diet plan with writing and filmmaking. So here's how I'm gonna break it down. So I always tell this story. So one of the managers at the gym I go to, Gold's Gym, is a friend of mine. And they're just like in perfect shape, right? And I was talking to them maybe 10, 12 years ago, and I was like, man, it's crowded. Because it was like January, February. And he said, it's January. It's the top of the year. Everybody makes their amends to themselves, their goals to do. I'm going to lose 30 pounds, whatever the bullshit. And by February, all the bitches are gone. And I was like, what? He's like, watch.
Yeah.
And sure enough, February 15th, it was like 30 people. I was like, oh, it's back again. Right? So what I found is people go on diets. They don't go on lifestyle changes. Y'all see me eating a donut, but I do that because I go to the gym almost every day, right? I live my life for certain. I have one, maybe two. I'm not gobbling down. I get chips. I get just a couple of them. You know, like I'm really good at that. Now, because of my lifestyle, right? Now, I believe the same thing with writers and filmmakers. There's a reason why I'm always writing. I probably get 4 projects a year done, not including pitches that I wrote, outlines that I did. So imagine my turnaround is like going crazy, right? So I'm trying to encourage writers that if you live your life a certain way, you will be getting work done because it's part of your lifestyle to do it, not because you're on the diet plan of, I got to write the script next month. That's only that 1 month. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I look at it, if that makes sense. Let's talk about it.
Any good business book or personal success or motivation kind of book will tell you habits and repetition and establishing a routine are important to your annual point about plans versus goals. You have to have habits and a routine and a repetition that will serve your ultimate goal so that your activity is going towards what it is you set after, as opposed to kind of hoping and wishing for it. And maybe you write it down and you feel like you're doing something because you're writing it down, but there's no execution behind it. Right. So what you mentioned is very important and necessary.
Let me just be clear. What I mean is is a diet plan, and a plan is a lifestyle. So just so y'all clear on it, what you think, Saeed?
Nah, I agree. For me, I write every day. And I treat it like the gym.
What's your time frame? Like, what's your schedule?
For me, it changed. I used to write at night when I had a 9 to 5. Right. But now I write in the day, and my head is mush by 6. But I kind of treat it like the gym, where it's like never miss more than 2 days, because now it's a habit. Yeah, for sure. Write every day. Because I look at writing and creating now more like sculpting. So I'm just chipping away. Like, I'm not one of them writers that sit there and write 10 pages. Right. Like, for me, I'm just chipping. But my chipping worked for me at the end of the year.
It's a puzzle. It don't matter. You could do a couple lines here, a scene there. Then you can move around. You come back.
You got to figure out. I think that's the biggest thing, is figuring out your process to lead to your lifestyle. Right. You know, just like as you said, Atomic Habits. You know, it's the consistency. Even the body. You know, like think about it. If you work out hard as hell on Monday, you don't do nothing else for the rest of the week. Right. That's cool. If you do a quarter as much on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, you're getting more benefits. You know what I'm saying? So it's the same thing. You're giving your body, you got to build up that discipline and build up that routine as well, so that it doesn't feel overwhelming. You break it down into doable steps. Now, I'm not a writer, but I'm
a writer though.
Yeah, but I mean, but I'm still studying story. You know what I'm saying? I'm making sure I'm sharp on structure. Right. And I'm shot listing character. Yes. I'm studying shows. I'm looking at things that I aspire to shoot, and shows. I'm like, man, I wish I had done something like this. Right. Okay, now let me break down what it is that I like about it that moved me so much, and let me just break down the mechanics of it and really kind of get to the nuts and bolts of it, so that I can incorporate some of those things into my arsenal as well.
I love it. The thing I was thinking about was, so many things. Let me ask you a quick cut. We were talking about this offline. So you were talking about the new, I don't want to call it diet, but the new, what'd you call it?
It was a 100-hour water fast.
Tell the kids about that just right quick.
So my girl did a 100-hour water fast the week before last. We've done one a couple months before.
You did one when we did our last podcast. You had just finished one.
And it's awesome because it's a cellular reset for the body. And it's not. I'm not saying it's easy at all, because you go through some things. You really learn about yourself. But as a director, you got to be comfortable being uncomfortable. Right. So it really kind of leans into your discipline and your focus. And I'm like, okay, I don't want to do this, but I'm going to do this. Right. And it's 5 days. It gives you I mean, a couple of different things, man. You reset the body, you give your gut and your digestive tract a break to focus on other things, other ailments, inflammation, things like that. Okay. And it also gives you gratitude. You know, just being grateful for having something to eat. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, when you work, I worked with homeless folks before, and you talk to cats that hadn't eaten in days. So when they get something to eat, just the fact of chewing it and tasting it, they savor it because they don't take it for granted. So when you're doing this fast, you start to say, like, man, eating is an enjoyable thing. I have to be grateful for it every time I get a chance to do that. So there's a lot of different things like that. And it's also, you know, it's great because it gives you mental clarity as well. Because when you take the sugar out of your diet, you take a lot of the bullshit we eat out of the diet, you detox. So the brain fog starts to dissipate. So you get high levels of clarity as well. So that's why, I mean, like I said, it is not easy. It is not easy by any stretch. And first times I tried it, I failed. I mean, I ain't gonna say I failed, but first time I did it 48 hours. Second time, 72 hours. I said, I gotta crack this 100. So if you live with someone, if you all can do it together, that's always great because you all can hold each other accountable. You all can, you know, motivate and encourage each other. But the benefits are just far outweigh the struggle you go through. So I mean, it's little things like that. Like I said, being comfortable, being uncomfortable is a part of my discipline. So I'm always looking for ways to challenge myself. So which is like working out. Like, okay, I'm gonna do these sprints up this hill. Like, I don't feel like running this right now, but you know, you endure it because you're like, there's a process to this, and at the end of it, you're like, I did that.
So I love you talking about. So here's the other part that this manager was telling me at the time. He don't work there no more, so he ain't suspect. So here's what he said. So everybody signs up, they work out for that first month. So here's what they bet on at gyms. I'm giving it away just so y'all know here's bullshit. So here's what happens. You sign up, you start going to the gym, $45 a month, whatever it is you're paying, because this shit ain't cheap in LA. Might be $100, right? You go for that first month. Well, the first 2 or 3 times you go, you ain't been in a long time. What happens? You get sore.
Muscle fatigue,
So what happens? You're like, oh, my arms hurt, or my chest hurt, or my legs hurt. I can't go back. I'm going to go back in another 3 or 4 days, and then a week goes by. And then 2 weeks goes by. What they fail to realize is that's when you work another body part. Right? They haven't learned that. They haven't learned that. You know what I mean? So I found that interesting, which taking it to screenwriting, same thing. Like you just said, there's no rules. So everybody thinks, oh, I got to do this linearly as I'm writing this story. But you don't have to. You could, I always tell writers, write the favorite scene you want to write. It'll get you excited about writing the next stuff. You know what I'm saying? Move to that action scene. Move to that scene where they break up. You know, move to that other scene, whatever it is, and I guarantee you'll keep going because you move so fast in that one.
Let me say this, man. I think comparison sometimes can be the thief of joy. A lot of folks be like, man, he at Starbucks knocking out 10 pages a day. Man, where am I at? I need to be on this page. You know what I'm saying? They start looking at what other people doing. Where, you know, some like not everybody is Taylor Sheridan. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody's a machine like that. You know, sometimes you have to give yourself the grace to say, this is my process. This works for me. If it's a page a day, it's a page a day. But guess what? In 90 days, I got 90 pages. So giving someone acknowledging themselves, like, okay, what works for me? And like you said, what can I do that will allow me to be excited the next time I sit down to write? As opposed to saying, damn, I got to write. Let me go wash these dishes. Damn, I got to write. Let me go wash this car. Let me go clean up. Let me go do everything else but sit down in front of his laptop, because sitting down in front of his laptop makes me uncomfortable. So I want to avoid it.
Well, here's the cool thing, though, and I say this a lot. You've heard almost every show of mine. 540. This will be 141 episode. 541 episode.
That's awesome.
So here's the thing that I said. Here's the cool thing about being a writer, and I've said this many times. We're the only people who could be doing this. We're looking off, and we're writing. Everybody else is not working. You know what I'm saying? We're the only people who could be looking off, and we're working. So check this out. If you can't write today, you can read. If you can't read today, you can write. If you can't do either of those, you can watch. If you can't watch, you can listen.
That's right.
There's 4 things you could be doing every day. So if you don't want to do one, you could do the other. You feel me? So you constantly should be moving forward. So when I tell people, since June, I've listened to almost 20-something books. They're like, really? I'm like, hang around, but you'll see it's just playing. You know what I'm saying? It keeps my spirit going. And I'm listening to those books you're talking about. When motherfuckers are telling you how they got their billions. Because, bitch, I want my billions. You know what I mean? Go ahead.
100%. Whatever you have to do to stay in the correct headspace, both in terms of mental health and in terms of productivity, is what you do.
Right.
And to Carl's point, like, comparison is not going to serve you.
Sure.
We all have to run our own race. It's cliche.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds a little corny to say, and many people have said it before, but it's true. You run your own race. SAEED talked about chipping away every day, chopping that wood, like whatever it is, going to a podcast or book or YouTube video or some other outlet. You mentioned like feeding your spirit or feeding the place you need to be in to create. Like you stay with it. And so if you keep doing it, the routine eventually will figure itself out. The consistency will come. And we need that discipline. All these terms that we've all used, but that's what has to happen. To get where you want to be, you're going to have to do some things you don't feel like doing at a time you don't feel like doing it. Like that's the reality of it. It's a cost. And so we all have to pay it. It takes on different forms, but it's none of us can snap our fingers and make it happen and, wish upon a star. Like that's, you got to be realistic.
And you got to forgive yourself if you haven't lived up to the expectations you set for yourself.
That's right.
Because sometimes people get to beat themselves up and get comfortable beating themselves up and say, well, it's just not going to happen for me. You got to say, okay, let me do a reset. Let me pause this, take a break. And that's the thing, man. I love how you mentioned the gym, because I remember them days as a former gym rat. Come January, like, where are all these people coming? So what I used to start doing, I would just run like the month of January. Come back February 5th, it's back to normal. The regulars like, you back. I'm like, hey, I take January off because I let everybody, because everybody gets in there saying, okay, I'm gonna go real hard and lose 50 pounds, and I'm gonna be great. And don't really see it's the consistency of it all, man. But like I said, you have to forgive yourself, or you have to be honest with yourself first and foremost. Say, okay, where am I? And what role did I play? Perfect, more than likely 80% of why I'm where I am. Say, okay, here's where I am. This is my starting ground. Whether I like it or not, I'm starting right here. And where do I go from there? And let me take the proper steps and things like that.
And I'll add one of the things you said is like live life, because I think one of the things I learned in the last year or two, just developing television shows, is leaning into my taste and life experience. Because at the end of the day, usually the people you're pitching to or trying to convince to buy this idea are not living normal people's lives. So they can't relate to what's going on in the world in the zeitgeist. So for me, whenever I'm stuck writing or whatever, I don't really get in writer block no more, because I'm usually living shit in life. And I think sometimes as writers, we like become recluses and stuff like that. And that's cool. Sometimes you do need to like get inside and make 5 beats every day for 6 summers or whatever. But you still got to go outside and live life, or else you ain't going to make, Kanye wouldn't have made Gold Digger if he ain't out in LA trying to go on dates. You know what I'm saying? So it's like at the end of the day, you have to like live. And so that's another thing I try to do too, is like make sure that I'm doing all those things you said, but then also making sure I'm like living life, like getting outside and taking the bumps and bruises, because it helps inform your creative and makes it richer.
There have been other directors on this show, Carl, who have said, using you as a guise, that you were one of the people that are like, you need to be doing something every year. Like, you can't just come through with just that short film and think you're going to be directing TV. You know what I mean? And it's like, it just got me thinking about that, about how a lot of people are like, oh, I have this one script, I have this one short film. And the one script, they think they're ready to get staffed on a show. And the one short film, they think they're ready to direct episodic TV. Let's talk about that just a little bit.
Like I said, it's a quantity game. It's a quality game sometimes. Everybody thinks they have this home run. And it's like, I'd rather you come up with 4 or 5 base hits than that one home run. Especially, when it comes to episodic television. They're looking at you like, you're not coming in as a visionary. You're coming in to facilitate someone else's vision. They want to know, like, okay, can you interpret what I'm saying and actualize it and bring it to life? And not just bring it to life, make it resonate so it has a connection to the audience. That's from the page, that's in the writer's room, that's on set and so forth. So, some folks just think that like, I got this one thing, and they've been down on that hill. Like, you got to do something different, and sometimes some folks need to be challenged, especially as chaotic as the game is today. Just 2 years ago was a totally different game. 2 years ago.
True.
Who knows where we'll be 2 years from now? Right. You know what I'm saying? So you really have to figure out ways to not just reinvent yourself or expand yourself, but to fuel yourself. And that comes from creation. And thankfully, we have technology where you can shoot something. You don't have to wait for anybody anymore. Yeah. I remember back in the day when you had to buy the film, rent the camera, you know what I'm saying? And edit everything costs a whole lot of money.
A whole lot more.
All that's done. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
The gatekeepers, the gates that were once 15, 20 feet high are now like 3, 4 feet high. You know what I'm saying? Or you don't even have to look at those gates. You can kind of build your own thing. Yeah. And I tell a lot of young filmmakers, they ask me often, how do I go about getting into this situation? I'm like, right now it's such a volatile space. The one thing you can do is build your audience. Yeah. As Franklin said in Snowfall, brick by brick. One person at a time. Say, okay, I'm going to start with my family. Hey, sister, brother, mom, uncles, aunts, cousins. Right. Watch my stuff. Right. If you like it, share with one of your friends. If they like it, tell them to share with one other person. And just keep building from there. And then say, okay, you all like that? Let me drop something. So let's say we got New Year's coming up. Someone says, you know what? I don't like where I'm at right now. I'm not happy. I'm miserable. What can I do? I'm going to shoot something on my phone. Right. It might not have the best quality, but I'm going to get it out there. Right. And it's going to be as creative as I can make it. And make the promise to say, okay, I'm going to do this every 3 months. So I have 4 things done by the end of the year.
Yes, SAEED.
And then be honest with yourself, like, okay, where am I at in terms of quality? Is it good? Where can I make it better? Because sometimes we fall into a rut like, man, I wrote this whole feature in 4 days. And I shot it. Why am I not getting love? Like, you wrote that joint in 4 days. Right. You know what I'm saying? So, you also have, and that's where the discipline comes in. Like, okay, I did it. Now let me go back and figure out where I fucked up. Where is it trash? How can I elevate it? You know what I'm saying? And a lot of folks will be like, they just get upset, throw it away, or they run into a roadblock. I can't figure this shit out. I'm done. And that's, like you said, that's the part where you breaking that muscle down. Like, you bench press 275, like, ooh, I'm sore. Right. All right, so let me get back here and pop 185 so I can warm back up and keep going. Next, the week after I'm doing 315. It's the same type of situation. So, a lot of filmmakers, a lot of artists don't feel empowered. They should feel more empowered now than ever because of technology. Not just technology, but you got technology, you got social media, you have the ability to create content and get it to specific people and say, I'm going to build my audience. Right. So that, and you can do it in a way where the audience, you can get such a sustainable audience, then people start coming to you.
This reminds me, total different subject, but similar. I was watching Drink Champs, and I'm not going to say whose names was who, but they were talking to a rapper who's talking about the new rappers today and the problems he has with them. Y'all probably seen the clips. The clips have been everywhere. Now, they were given a version of this. The person was asked, they're a new, young, hot, multimillionaire, rapper who was able to go, they asked him to do the red carpets at such and such, award show, whatever. And he was on the red carpet going, well, I don't know who this person is. Well, he did no research. And his excuse was, I wasn't even born back then. How am I supposed to know who the person is? So he would rebuttal, like, instead of being excited that he met, let's just say, Sam Jackson or somebody, he would be like, I don't know who that is. You know what I mean? That's just like, how do you not know who people are? If you're going to take a job, because I'm sure they paid them something or something, you know what I mean? Shouldn't it be your responsibility to do your research and at least go, here are all the people who are invited?
Well, that's one of the cons of social media.
Yeah, that's
cons of content.
You know what I'm talking about. You've seen that before.
I think we all have. That's also the cons of, like, YouTube, where craft is not a priority anymore. I'm racking my brain trying to be a craftsman, talking to a young filmmaker. He's like, man, I don't care about that 180 axis line. I'm like, you got 2 people talking to each other, but look in the same direction. You need to care about it. But their audience doesn't care about it. You know what I'm saying?
The eye line's important.
TikTok, YouTube, certain machines and systems have allowed quality to suffer to the point where the artist doesn't care about that. You have a whole generation that don't care about sound quality, color correction. They don't care about any of that. They're like, man, just put it out. If I like it, I like it. If it makes me laugh, if it's like, ooh, this is cool, and I ain't gonna get on Tubi, You know what I'm saying? They just fuck craft. They just throw shit on the wall. You know what I'm saying? And you don't want to be that guy, like, man, get off my lawn. You don't want to be that guy.
Right.
It's like, yo, man, you got to respect the craft.
Right.
Because if you respect the craft with your storytelling, everything rises. But once again, you try to tell it to somebody, say, yeah, I hear what you're saying, but I got 2 million followers. What the fuck can I say?
Right.
I'll shut the fuck up.
Exactly.
Walk away. I'm like, all right,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you try to tout craft as much as you can. Say, so my rebuttal to the cat was, you got 2 million followers. If you use some craft, you got 20 million followers.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
There you go.
craft can only make you better.
Quality. People
You know what I'm
love
saying?
quality.
Don't run from it. But it's that adage, like, what I'm doing is working. I'm winning.
Right.
So why should I go do that?
And it's a short-term thought process too.
Sure,
They're
yeah.
winning now. They're
Yeah.
successful now. They're monetizing all the followers now. Will it last? Will they have the same success next time?
Yeah.
Like, to me, like, everything Carl is sharing, we could almost wrap the episode right now. It's so real.
Right.
But he's making the point, like, social media, AI, all of these things are double-edged swords.
Mm-hmm.
So craftsmen and artists like ourselves, we care about it. We understand we can use the tools to our advantage, despite all of the noise and the clutter that's out there.
Mm-hmm.
But the other point is to keep it a buck for all the writers and directors who are listening. This is what your competition is doing.
Yep.
So whatever the results are,
Talk about it.
your competition is doing, they are doers. So you have to be doing and contributing, and it just goes beyond the old days of like coming up with a script or shooting something. Like, I'll use myself as an example.
Right.
I did a web series in 2019. As you know, we did 5 episodes. Took great pride in getting it done.
Sure.
I feel like it was a good story. It's well written, looks good. I can't pressure my reps to do more for me with a project that is 6 years old.
Yep.
I can't.
Yep.
I got to come up with something else, something new, so everybody knows I'm about what I say I'm about and not just resting on what I did back in the day. Like, nobody really cares. A lot of our credits
Right.
and prestige projects that we've done a lot. That was then, this is now. So the short-term, immediate gratification, microwave society in which we live, there are challenges that come with that, but it also is an opportunity for you to and the late great Penny Marshall said, like, make something. Right. You director, make something.
Facts.
Ava DuVernay was in an interview recently. She was like, it really has to be about the craft. And, you know, you could be cynical and jaded and say, well, it's easy for you to say, you're sitting up there, you're on stage, you know, you're so-and-so, you're Carl Seaton. But these people started with execution on a consistent level until the recognition, I remember audience building, and all those things happen.
Sorry to interrupt you. I remember when Carl wasn't an episodic television.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It wasn't
easy.
Me too.
Yeah.
Wasn't long ago.
Exactly. It wasn't all easy.
You know, in saying that, I would challenge everybody that's listening that is, you know, first of all, stop saying you're an aspiring.
That part.
Yes.
Just be it. That's number one. Number two, find your rabbit. When I say find your rabbit, I mean find someone whose work you extremely admire and find out their origin story. Right. Just like comic book heroes have origin stories, Spider-Man, Iron Man, all of them. Everybody you believe in, everybody you are a fan of, started somewhere. Find out what that is and figure out, you know, their journey.
Be curious.
It's not all rosy. It's not all, you know, peaches and cream. You know what I'm saying? Some of them have highs and some have extremely low lows and extreme failure. And they resounded from that failure. So in learning their journeys, you can use that as fuel to, you know, fuel your journey.
Speaking just about craft, like speaking about craft per se, some things that, you know, I had made like a list of like a few things that I'm going to do for craft. So like one of them that I used to do when I first broke in is I would read 1 script a week. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That means at the end of the year, I'm reading 56 scripts. I look at scripts. I talked about this before. It's like code. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes it's like, I remember when I first started writing, like I was really good at dialogue, but I didn't, you know, but sometimes it's like, well, what does it look like for somebody to
structure is usually the hardest thing.
Structure is the hardest part, and it's the shit you got to be fluent in.
Yeah.
You know, to make it exciting read. So like one thing I was doing is reading one script a week. That's something I'm about to go back to. And I ain't talking about your homie's script.
Right.
I ain't talking about your script. I'm talking about something.
You can start with the top 100 scripts.
I'm talking about stuff that's out now.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Because you need to see out now and old.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But you need to see the best. Another thing I would do is listen to podcasts like Screenwritersrantroom. You know what I'm saying? Look at YouTube. Like every time.
What's your new show? What's it going to be called?
Writers Right.
That's it. You got a new one.
Coming soon. But yeah, no, one thing I used to do also that I still do is like, for instance, I like the show Task, right?
Yeah.
So I
love that show.
I go to IMDb, I look up the showrunner, right? I see who the showrunner is.
Doing your
type
homework.
His name on YouTube, interviews. Bam. Now I'm watching all his interviews.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? So I can get game, which is something Carl was just talking about. Another thing you do is get a class or a course. Like you're not good enough to not, you know what I mean? Like don't look like you above getting a class, even if it's master class. Like
100%.
I just recently bought BBC has a master class.
Oh yeah.
And I bought one and it was Bill Lawrence.
Oh really? Okay, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Talking about how it was all about how
Ted
he
Lasso,
creates
let's go.
exactly how he creates television shows. So get that. Another thing is like we said before, you gotta write every day or figure out what your process is.
Or one of the 4 elements I talked about. Something, right?
Another thing I'm about to start doing is instead of doing audiobooks, which I do a lot of, is actually reading books because especially fiction. Because when I read it, it helps me as a writer. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like when I grab Walter Mosley book, I'm like, oh shit. Like I'm just looking at how he writing those prose that helps me when it comes time to write my prose. I learn shit because I can see it.
Do you see a book in your future?
For sure.
Okay.
Because one thing I noticed is like just developing television shows, everything is a book now. So why wouldn't you write a book? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And then lastly, one thing also is just watch more TV and films. Like when I meet executives, they're always talking about how often they meet writers and they ain't watching shit.
They always ask you, what are you watching?
Yeah, you need to be watching new shit, old shit. You know what I'm saying? Shit you don't even like. Right. You know what I'm saying? Just at least watch the pilot. You know
I was about to say, that's my rule of thumb. I try to watch the pilot to everything that's critically acclaimed so that I can at least be in the conversation. I may not get into the rest of the show, but I saw the damn pilot. Yeah. You know what I mean? So
even old stuff. Like I remember our manager one time was like, you should watch Casablanca, right? Which is a classic.
All time.
Right? But this shit all through that movie, I'm not fucking with. Like messing with. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like the black dude could have his freedom.
Sure.
And he's like, no, I want to stay with you, boss. Like, you know what I'm saying? But just watching it and then you learn other stuff and you look at, okay, this is the style that started that. Like, even though it's problematic, I guess is what my point is. Because there's a lot of
there's
material.
some great singers in there, though. There's some great writers.
But there a lot of stuff you watch that's older is going to be problematic.
Sure.
Absolutely.
And you still got to watch it and get stuff out of it, you know, like, you know. So anyhow, those are some things craft-wise that I'm going to be doing heading into the new year. Just to like restart.
That was some game, wasn't it?
That's dope.
This is
you know, there's a website, I don't know the name of it right now. A writer buddy of mine just told me about this the other day. They dropped 50 of HBO's pilot scripts.
What?
That's fire.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's dope.
50 of
If
it.
you find that, send it to me.
Yeah, you can text that.
It's fire. I was like, oh, that's I mean, come on, HBO been doing it
top of the line
since '97 with ours. So, you know, I'm like, that's awesome, man. That's a great, those are great tributes right there, bro. You can't do anything but get better.
Yeah,
applying
for sure.
Right.
That was some game. What you think, Tracy?
I'll piggyback right quick. As SAEED mentioned Task, which I also love.
Yeah, Mark Ruffalo. That's it. Shout out to Sally Richardson.
The writer shout out to Sally Richardson for sure.
Amazing pivot.
But to SAEED's point, the writer's name is Brad Inglesby.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Prior to Task, he had a show on HBO, Mayor of Easttown. He's in the vein of a Taylor Sheridan.
Oh yeah. Well, they work together a lot. They work
sort
together.
of, you know, these rural-based stories. I'm forgetting the name of the feature.
Was it Highway?
Christian Bale was in the feature. But that's really kind of where he made his mark. But if you like that tone or those kinds of stories, you want to be aware of these people. And it's not difficult to find quality scripts. You may have to put in some effort to find like the newest things, the things that are out, but quality scripts, both feature and television, whether it's a pilot, whether it's an existing episode, if you are not aware of those, then you just have some work to do.
You can
Because the
find
information
a
is
good
very-
amount of them.
exactly.
If they've been out for 2 seasons, you can pretty much find it.
Yeah, you also said something that's really dope too, man. Googling somebody or going on IMDb, looking at their name, and then finding every interview or podcast.
That's smart.
Yes.
Like I know on the DGA website, you don't even have to be a member.
It's like digging in the crates.
Exactly,
That's
digging in
right.
the crates.
Yeah.
So the DGA website has a archive section where they just interview various
All right.
directors,
That's
ADs,
fire.
UPMs.
Mhm.
I'm talking 3-hour, 4-hour interviews that are
Yeah.
broken up in
Wow.
chapters. These people just break down game of, just their careers, the lessons they've learned, and the mistakes they made, and what they would have done differently. I mean, it's to me, it's better than film school because you get real time experience, real time life. So I'm sure the
I agree.
WGA probably
Yeah, we
has
have a
the
version.
exact same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just
I agree.
watch it, like you said, listen to these interviews gives you so much more.
Mhm.
It's a great way to educate yourself without, necessarily paying for the tuition of it all. So
Mhm.
there's so many ways that you can hustle information without having to come out of your pocket. You know what I'm saying? But to your point, taking the class is always good as well. And I think sometimes folks get into their ego bag, like I can't do that. I've done this before. I've achieved this,
Oh,
this,
yeah.
and this. So I'm too good to be here. I'm too good to be there. You gotta exercise humility and say, okay, this is for a greater goal. This is gonna make me better. Let me go ahead and do this.
Here's the thing I've learned though, and we all have friends who have done this. As Tracy, we specifically have friends who've talked about where they were like staff writer 4 or 5 times, and now we know them, the EPs right now. And what I found is sometimes the saying yes to something you were like, should I do this thing, is actually the thing that was the path. You actually needed to do the staff writer 3 things so that when you get on the next show, you get the double bump to get you right. That's what always happens.
Yes.
They were like, will I be staff writer again on this show or story editor again? Blah, blah, blah. And that's the one that pulls them up. It's like, you got to say yes to some shit. You got to believe in yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You got to believe that you're going to be the one that's going to help this show, that's going to help the showrunner. You guys are going to it's going to get another episode, get another season. You know what I mean? So that's the thing that I found for sure.
And to Carl's point, again, like being honest with oneself. You got to be honest with yourself and strategic. Now, everyone wasn't thinking long term in those situations, but sometimes you presented with an opportunity. It is less than ideal. It is not everything you want. You feel like you're entitled to more. You've earned more, and maybe you can make that choice and politely decline and take your chances and hope for the best.
Right.
But hopefully you are being realistic and looking at the situation and not kind of in your feelings and a little bit arrogant based on what you've already done.
Right.
You may not have a better option. It may be the move for you to make. You may have to kind of endure some pain and some BS on the front end early on for lack of another opportunity.
Yeah.
So being real with yourself is very important, and it's easier to say than to do sometimes, but it's important. You have to do that. This is a competitive enterprise that we're all engaged in. It's a competitive business. It's a competitive endeavor that we're all looking to advance in. And so you're not helping yourself if you're kind of shielding yourself from discomfort, to Carl's earlier point.
Yeah.
Like that's just
Let me add on what you're saying to what you're saying, to your point. Also, finding your tribe is just as important as well.
For sure.
Facts.
Because
100%.
the right people in your circle can have you thinking like, you can go to that building, and I'll help you get to that building. What I'm saying? You knock down this brick wall, let's do it. And not just that, but giving you game. Like I said, my writer buddy hit me to this website with these pilot scripts. I didn't know anything about it. You know what I'm saying? There's so much out there in the universe. If you have the right people around you that are encouraging you, that are challenging you to be better and demanding you, say, you know what, you got to get up off your ass. You got to make something happen. I've been talking to you all day. You've been doing this, doing that. Let me check in with you. What you got? What have you accomplished? What are you doing? What are you working on right now? So finding that tribe, and I know it's easier said than done, especially out here in LA, because everybody's nose down, everybody's kind of self-centered and things in that regard. But there are folks out here that do, create and look out for each other. There's community out here. There's community, and because there's value in community, because just sharing movies to watch and TV shows to watch. Like, you seen this? You check this out.
Right.
So quick conversations, things like that. And they can go a long way because sometimes people feel like they're all alone and realize like, okay, this is a process that a lot of people are going through. Can also give you a little more encouragement.
Saeed and I were talking a month or two ago. We did that last podcast. We were talking, I'm not going to get into it, but we were talking about how, welcome to Hollywood, what's your dream? We got the ghetto birds up there. We're talking about how, specifically in Hollywood, as we continue to grow our companies, right? You know, Saeed got his overall deal, you know, over at Sony, and, you know, when that ends, what's the next step, right? And, you know, I'm over here, I don't know if I told you, I'm doing a new thing where I found 3 scripts that I optioned. I'm going out with them in the new year. You know what I mean?
Dope.
1 feature, 2 TV series. And I'm like, I know all these people, and I never say, yo, Carl, I got the perfect thing for you to direct.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Let me just attach you to this thing, and then you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what I'm doing now. You know, I'm like, what's the next phase of me, right? So I was going to say something you said, and I forgot what it was. Welcome to Hollywood.
You mentioned the previous podcast you were having a discussion.
Oh, yes. So in essence, we were talking about, to get to the nitty gritty of it, what we're talking about is how, as our companies continue to grow, and this is even for people who don't have a company, you establish for yourself and with your tribe, that's where I was going, with the tribe, that this is how I'm going to treat my friends.
Mm-hmm.
This is how I'm going to treat people that work around me. This is how, you know, like I was just telling Jerry, shout out to Jerry on the 1s and 2s and stuff right here. I call the 1s and 2s to fade the cameras and shit back. Shut up, Carl. I was telling him, you know, there's a photo that somebody took of me. I think he took it, but I can't remember. But I'm going to be in the Written By magazine coming up for the Screenwriters Rant Room. So I gave the credit to Jerry. So this is my thank you. I'm going, bro, thank you for helping me, but whatever. So I always try to make sure that people help me get their credit.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? That they know what's going on. So I think that's how we can help each other when we get our tribe, is if we always are, like Tracy and I are very accountable to each other when shit's going on. We know our personal shit. We know what's going on with each other. You know what I mean? And damn, what y'all doing out there? They coming to get you, Carl.
I know it's about time. Let's make it run.
They like, stop spreading that fast info. You saving lives.
It's bigger than no problem. Everybody down with me.
Yeah.
Everybody come down with me.
You were just mentioning is leadership.
Yes.
And I'll say it in another way.
Go ahead.
In sports, I saw this recently. I didn't come up with this on my own, but to say like a good coach gives the credit to his assistants and people around. When things are going well, he doesn't take the credit. He gives the credit away. When things are going badly, he takes responsibility. So you take the blame, you give away the credit. Most people are the opposite way. And so that's how you create a team environment where people want to not only do their best for you and the team, but make sure you have what you need for you to move forward. You kind of give that away. So you edify, you defer. And again, when things go left and things go south, and we've all been in a seat of sorts, you know, on television to some degree when you're in charge. Again, said it many times, probably said it on this mic. You get that phone call late at night. They're not calling to tell you that they love you or how much they love your writing. They're calling with a problem,
right?
And they expect you to solve. President Obama used to talk about it. Like, so there are responsibilities that come with what some of you all listening are still kind of aspiring to. And, you know, it's certainly rewarding, but leadership and being in charge, like Hilliard has built something here with the podcast, YouTube channel. We're recording today with an audience.
Yes, indeed.
And obviously he paid a price, a lot of blood, sweat, and tears and years. Those of us have been around.
I still ain't making no money on this.
Right. But
you know what I'm saying?
But so he calls the shots, but there are responsibilities that come with that. And so the grass isn't always as green as you might think. So what you want to focus on is not only getting the work done, but being good. Like focus on being good. That's why we're all so focusing on craft today. Like you want not only the project completed, but you want it to be good. Like when SAEED's doing his pitches and his new projects, there are things that speak to him. There are things that we're all passionate about as artists and storytellers, but we put the time and the energy into making sure it's the best it can possibly be. A lot of these other issues kind of will take care of themselves.
Yeah. I was listening to a podcast yesterday with Kevin Hart, and he was talking about how it took him 13 years to finally get his big break. And the host said, I think if people knew it would take them 13 years, most people would do it.
Sure.
You know what I mean? I was like, that is bars, right? That's totally true. Sure. You know what I mean? To think, and then it made me go, holy shit. I've been in this industry since I was 12 years old. Damn. I've never had a normal job. That's right? Hard. And I'm still trying to get in there. So I'm like, damn, how many years? That's like 40-something years. Like a nigga still.
I got to bump back.
The payoff.
I mean, the idea of big break is already a misconception.
That's true.
And the lure of Hollywood.
That's true.
That folks be like, when's my big break?
Right.
Now, 13 years till he became who he was, but he's had
there were bumps. There were steps.
He had
pilots. That's true.
Soul Plane.
Right.
He's had comedy specials and things of that nature. He's been building himself.
True.
Just like you, sir.
Yes.
You've had moments that fueled you to get to this moment right here. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's what you got to look at. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, because folks ask me, like, when was your big break? Like, no, I've never had a big break. I've had moments that have advanced me. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Like
it's survive in advance.
I like that.
Survive in advance.
Yeah.
And having the wherewithal to say, you know what? This is an amazing opportunity. Let me maximize this opportunity. And hopefully it will lead to other opportunities. And that's what has happened. As opposed to saying, I've had a big break. Because big break feels like lottery. You know what I'm saying? And this ain't lottery. Right. This is consistency. Like I said, this base hits. Big break sounds like a grand slam home run in the ninth inning. True. With 3 strikes and, 2 strikes and 3 balls. You know what I'm saying? And that's not the case here. And I think a lot of folks, they move like, I got to make this big break. This got to be my big break. This can lead to my big break. And it don't really work like that. You know what I'm saying? Rarely do you go from doing a $1,000 short film to the Avengers. You know what I'm saying? It don't work like that.
That's right.
You know I told you, Greg, it ain't going to happen. I told you.
Also, I want to add on to that because I think the more just like transitioning from TV writing to development, one thing I also realized is timing. And so I think a lot of it has to do with timing. When I look at my career, even in music and in screenwriting, a lot is timing. I've benefited a lot of timing, but having the right shit, being the right person. But a lot is timing. Even when you look at Kevin Hart, it's like, I remember I worked at a record store in the Bay, Rasputin, shout out Rasputin's on Telegraph. I used to sell Cat Williams DVDs out flying off the shelf. Yeah. Kevin Hart wasn't, because Cat Williams was dominating. And then I remember when Cat Williams kind of started waning, like he took a break. I remember my homie was like, Kevin Hart new special fire. And I was like, man, dude from Soul Plane. Like, you know what I'm saying? He was like, no, bro, you need to watch it. And I remember I saw his first special and he had it. And it was the timing, because Cat Williams took a break. And Kevin came in, bam, that special where he did the thing about the dad. And then he had that other special. Like it was timing too. And so I feel like one thing, you can only control what you can control. And even when it comes to pitching television shows, when I listen to a lot of showrunners like the dude who created Friends and Neighbors on Apple, he talks about how he'd been trying to get that show going for 10 years. And he was trying to pitch these like small drama-filled shows that didn't work until now. So it's like a lot of it is timing, which you can't control. So that's why I feel like you got to just stay diligent on the path and stay with your routine and just keep trying to get better. You know what I'm saying? Because at some point that timing gonna open up.
I like that. Some bars. I like that. Let me ask you something, Carl. You were starting to say earlier, we got a couple of directors in the room. You know Greg Simon? You guys know each other? Yeah, I figured you did. Let me just ask you, what would you tell, you were starting to get into this, what would you tell directors now like post the strike.
Mhm.
Before the strike, you probably would have said something different.
Yeah.
Now we're in a different time. The climate's a little different. You know what I mean? So let's talk to those directors who want to get into episodes.
Let me get my pen because I need. I'm about to
Somebody throw a pen.
No. I'm saying I'm just joking. Like I need this info. Let's go.
It's so funny, man, because what I would tell them today is totally different from what I told them a year ago.
Okay.
Because the game has changed so much, and we're still not quite sure where it's going to land necessarily, because you got these mergers going. There's still the contraction is still contracting.
Yep.
So I would say this is the time to focus on self-created content. And do it in a way like make it the best.
Right.
Every I dot, every T cross, be as crisp and professional as possible, because the biggest thing about it is you never know who's watching what.
Yeah.
You never know what can land on somebody's desk. All it takes is one person see something like, hey man, you need to see this. It'd be the VP of a company like, y'all just saw this thing, let's go meet with this person. Who is this person? And you hit them on social media, the DM like, I just watched your project, I want to meet with you. You know what I'm saying? So I would say to all these filmmakers, the time of waiting by the phone, that don't exist anymore. You got to get up and do something. And like I said, it's because attention spans are so short now, nobody's saying you can make a magnum opus of 15, 20 minutes. Right. You tell a tight-ass story from 3 to 5 minutes, you'd be amazed at the impact it could have.
Here's the funny thing, Carl. Some of my favorite shorts have no dialogue.
Yeah, exactly.
They are just all, visual, character-driven moments with not a word of dialogue. And you're in tears at the end.
And that's the thing. That's beautiful. And see, what that does is, because I did a silent short years ago that did really well for me back in the day. You can do a silent film with no dialogue that tells someone watching, like, okay, I was moved. This person knows story, performance, and knows how to communicate with the audience. Right. That's high levels of appeal. Like, man, what else? What could they do if I gave them this budget? Or if I gave them this opportunity? You know what I'm saying? Those are the type of things that piques people's interest. Right. So, like I said, in this climate, I would tell folks, because folks tell me all the time, like, yo, how can I get an agent or manager? I'm like, listen, man, in this contraction, talking to agents and managers, they'll tell you, like, I'm trying to get my clients work that already have resumes. Right. So trying to get somebody in, and you have to really strip it down and say, okay, what are you really asking them to do? You're asking them to get you more work. Right. If they don't have an arsenal of work to get you more work, it's an uphill battle. So what you want to do is start to build your own arsenal.
That's right.
And do it in a way that is like, okay, let me, and you want to keep it doable. You don't want to say, like, oh, now I'm $50,000 in debt because I took this on. Like, do what you can with what you have. Right. And like I said, because, man, you can do wonders with these iPhones. Crazy. You got things you can create steady cams with them, you know what I'm saying? And there are communities of people out here, especially in LA, because the work isn't here like it once was, that are twiddling their thumbs looking to get active on something.
About this little $4 Temu thing.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Steady cams shit.
And then now attach that to like the hood of your car. Yeah. Or some handlebars on a bike. Right. Or a shopping cart out of routes. Right. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you really got to get creative with it. You can, I'm tapping back into the guerrilla filmmaker style. Like, okay, I got no budget, but I got time to figure out how to solve this problem. Okay. So I just tell filmmakers, man, keep studying the craft. There's so much craft to study. Books to read, podcasts to listen to, movies to watch, TV shows to watch. Because as you said earlier, when you're in these meetings with folks, they ask you, what are you watching? And it's tough. It's two-pronged to see that you're watching things and to gauge your taste. You hit them with something like, yo, you watch this show, like, oh, I love that show. Especially if you hit them with something that's obscure or something that's dope. Or even, I had a great meeting with an exec. I gave her a show. There's a film on Netflix that I've been raving about for almost 3 years now. My DP in Cape Town told me about. It's called Athena.
Best one take intro to a movie I've ever seen.
The first 10 minutes had me standing up.
Yeah, bro. Fire.
The first 10 minutes had me on my feet. Like, wow, what is this?
Amazing.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, why is this not best picture for? Well, that's all I'm saying. Anyway, but you hitting them with things like that. An exec hit me back after the meeting, like, yo, I watched the movie Athena.
Thank you.
I had to hit you up. I didn't know.
That's how you think.
Exactly. Number one, that's how you think. But that tells me, like, oh, you're thinking on this type of elevated level. You always want to strive for elevation. You know what I'm saying? So I tell filmmakers, get in the lab, stay in the lab, embrace the lab, and create. And everybody's affected by what's happening right now. No matter how big you are, no matter how much success you may have had prior to, everybody's being hit by what's going on right now. This is an industry-wide epidemic, basically.
Crazy.
So you have to figure out ways to, fuel your creativity in different ways. So young filmmakers, or just filmmakers that aren't where they want to be,
Right.
the one thing you can do to empower yourself is to keep creating.
I love everything he's just saying, because that's
Yes.
everything I'm on, and also doubling down on your taste. That's one thing that I wrote this year, and I'm gonna continue to write, because Bob Iger is quoted as saying, "This is an era where everyone can be a creator." That's why he just sold those Disney things to Sora,
right,
so that everybody could create for free, right? And Disney will stay in the zeitgeist of being popular. But if everybody's creating, it's going to be a sloss of shit. The only thing that's going to separate us, creation is cheap, taste is rare. So at the end of the day, what I think is dope and what I create is going to be totally different than what you create. So at the end of the day, it's like he's saying, like, anytime you can show people your taste, and sometimes it's like, oh, I didn't really rock with that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I remember I saw a thing where LaRussell, in the rapper from the Bay, he was in an interview. Yeah, he just said in this interview that he had a meeting with Puff. And Puff, they're playing all this music, and everybody in there was just yes man. And Puffy asked LaRussell, "What you think of this song? Does he want to write some lyrics?" He was like, "I ain't really feeling it."
That's honest.
I'd rather have somebody tell me the truth.
Yes.
LaRussell has taste, right?
I believe it.
And so at the end of the day, to me, creation is cheap, taste is rare. And so to me, I'm doubling down on my taste and what I want to create. And at the end of the day, I think that's what's going to separate us from all this creation. You know what I'm saying? You go to Donald Glover for a certain thing. You go to Denzel Washington for a certain thing. You go to Idris Elba for a certain thing. You go to Phoebe Waller-Bridge for a certain thing. You know what I'm saying? And so at the end of the day, I'm like dialing in and doubling down on my taste, win, lose, draw.
I like it. Yeah. What you think? You take
100%. And it also, what SAEED is talking about in terms of developing and articulating one's taste and one's style, that's also going to help him to attract and build the audience that he may need as he goes on to bigger and better things. Because he'll be able to point to a like-minded community, not just this one thing that he likes and that he thinks is dope. And so you're helping yourself, you find that alignment. We've spoken many times about building our tribe, and don't look up, look around, because that's who you're going to come up like. That's what has to happen, for what? Because many of us are in positions where people are stepping to us and how can I get on? How can I get this and that? And it's like, so the things that we're all sharing are things that we've done and what we're continuing to do. So like at a certain point, it's around execution. We talked about it again, like discipline and Denzel Washington very famously said, discipline and consistency. Those two. Now, where you are personally, that will determine what you have to do to prepare and to start and to get ready. You may already be very focused. You may be a procrastinator. You may be dealing with a personal challenge. Like, we all have challenges to face before we can kind of move on and get where we like to go. But, we're here to kind of share our experiences and encourage you. It can be done. If the folks you look up to have done it, you can do it. We've done some things. You can do it too. But we're all doers and executing the things we're speaking about. We're not just talking.
I was thinking about something you were talking about earlier, Carl, and I'm comparing this to the gym, right? You go to the gym. Like, here's a funny thing people don't know. Even though I go to the gym almost every day, I lift the same weights almost every day. I rarely go up 10 pounds on something. Partly it's because I used to be a dancer, so I always want to be slim enough to dance, right? Like I'm going to go back 55 years old. So. But I keep thinking I am, so shit, I might do a couple pirouettes. But I always compare it to writing. Now watch this. The way that I got to be able to write a script in a week or two is because somebody tested me to do it. So I think, so here's the problem. A lot of writers write feature films, but they want to write TV. And they get into that, oh, I'm working on this TV pilot. And you talk to them this month, 3 months later, you talk to them, you're like, you are not ready to write TV.
Mm-hmm.
Like your speed is not there. Is there a version of that for directing where you have to be getting that muscle ready if that's where you want to go? You know, because even in film, you only have a couple pages a day, like et cetera, et cetera. I'm just curious in using the comparison.
Yes. For example, shot listing. You know, I shot list every day.
Right.
You know, I never come on set without a shot list.
Okay.
And what I do when I'm not working, and let's say I watch a show that I'm digging,
Mhm.
and it's a huge set piece.
Right.
I'm breaking down all the setups, how many angles, how many lenses, you know what I'm saying? Like how many hours it could have taken, you know what I'm saying? And if I know when the ADs worked on it, I'm like, yeah, man, when y'all shot this, how many hours did it take? How many hours did you get yourself, and how many did it take?
Wow, that's right.
Gave ourselves 6, but it took 12. Got it. Okay. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that you already know, like, okay. And you also learn, like, because I mean, when you're watching the final product, you're thinking it's perfect. Like, no, there's some, you know, some cooking that went on behind the scenes. Like, with the reshoots, did you do any retakes? Did it require additional photography? Was there a whole second unit doing insert things like that?
Yeah.
But it starts with breaking it down. Like, okay, you know, so I like to study where the pivots take place. You know, because sometimes you can have a game plan. You gotta throw that shit out because time just doesn't allow. That happens on every production. I mean, it's like when I shot list, you know, come from my home, whatever, and then I revise that shot list before I'm shooting. And on the day of, I'm revising that day. Like, okay, clock is ticking, the sun ain't stopping for nothing. Okay, well, we got to get this, and this. Okay, what do I need to tell these story beats? Right. So it's really about, you know, exercising that muscle. Like, okay, what are the elements that I need that are going to give me a fully fleshed out scene with adequate performance as well as pacing and timing and so forth. So to your question, get in the lab. It's you watch it. Like if I watch an episode, when I'm doing analysis, I watch an episode. I watch it through. Okay, cool, dig it. Then I watch it again to look at the story arcs. Watch it again without the sound to see how the camera's moving, see how the blocking is. Watch it again, you know, with everything again. So you start taking elements away to see how this was put together.
It gets
how that was put together. Exactly. So okay, this show likes to like when I'm studying a show I'm about to do, I'll study the language of the show. Taking the sound out makes you focus. You become more hyper aware of the cinematic language of the show much quicker. So that's one of the exercises. So you give yourself different tools. And like I said, the more you do it, you say, okay, here's an A storyline, B storyline, C storyline, and so forth. So you start looking at the character structure. And then also, you get to a point where, and this is when in discussing with the showrunner, like, okay, which scenes are the filet mignon? Which one is the salad?
Right.
What's the carrot cake? You know what I'm saying? What's the parsley?
Right.
What's the beard? So you start saying, okay, let me spend some time on this scene. Right. Because this is the most important scene in this episode. You know what I'm saying? So this is the moment. We're building towards this. And it also makes them think like, this is the one that means the most to me. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, having these conversations as well. So, I mean, little things you pick up when you go along. And like I said, sometimes you get kicked in the teeth. Sometimes you have a plan, like this plan is not working. Okay. You got to start from square one. But I think the biggest thing is going in saying, okay, we have to be problem solvers. And knowing, like, I'm not in it by myself. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got an AD, and, you know, the DGA turns out rock star ADs for the most. I really have had, I've never had an AD that I'm like, how did you get hired? That just didn't happen.
Sure.
Where they're coming in, and their job is to solve problems. UPM, you know what I'm saying? Most of the cast, you know, the show, everybody's like, okay, how can we solve this so we can get it done in a way that everybody is happy?
I always say like the AD and the UPM almost has to be the smartest person on the set. Like they got to be so brilliantly ahead of any anticipation.
Which is why their lifespan is so much shorter than everybody else.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't think I knew that.
I mean, because they are shouldering so much. The AD has so many things going around. Not just my needs and what I'm trying to accomplish, but the actor's schedules, the actor's demands, the actor's personal days off. Not just that, but stunts, special effects, props, wardrobe, you name it. They have to have all this going on in their head. On top of saying safety meeting in the morning, we got to be safe because of X, Y, and Z. UPM's got all the money is on them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, this episode is budgeted at $6 million. You have to know where all this money is going down to the penny at all times. What do you mean $5,000 just disappeared?
Nope.
That's unacceptable.
Yeah.
So yeah, they do have to wait. So and I see that.
Mhm.
So I'm like, okay, how can I assist you showing up with a shot list, expressing the idea of this is the game plan for the day, or saying, hey man, I know we got this amount of time. How about we try this so we can maximize this time, or this location? Let's make it a twofer. This part could be for this scene.
Yeah.
This part could be this scene.
Okay, I literally was just about to ask you, have you ever done your scout, set it all up, showed up on the set and went, we could just do this in the parking lot. Have you ever done a version of something like that?
Well, I've done something where we've scouted, we found a spot, did the tech scout, and then between the tech scout and shooting, we lose that location.
Oh, yeah, I've done it.
We're like, okay, all right, so what's plan B? Okay, well, let's go look at this other place. So when you're shooting all day, and when you wrap, like, okay, now we're going to take a look at this spot.
Right.
Can we make this work? You figuring out, like, and the goal is always, can we make it work? What do we need to tell this story?
Right.
And that's when you lean into the storytelling. Like, okay, what attributes does this bring? Because the right location tells 50% of the storytelling.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, so if you have the right location, and also you can help with location. Say, okay, guys, for this location, if we can have these elements, like if I got a scene that I want to be ominous, you want something that's gonna look. You walk in like, holy shit, this is already without it being touched.
Yeah,
it's scary looking.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. So things like that. And most location scouts in different cities, they on point. You know, because they know the city, they know the ins and outs. They have a point of view. You would never know if you've never been to that city before. So you talk to them and say, all right, guys, this is kind of what I'm going for. What do you guys have like this? And if something's not working, you be able to tell them this is why this isn't working.
Now, it's everything that Carl just broke down. Clearly, there's a great deal of high quality experience with that. But there's also, for y'all listening, like staying ready so you don't have to get ready.
Yeah, absolutely.
So even if you are not working on a project, which all of us should be, but even if you're not, preparation is good use of that. You can spend the time getting prepared and learning and knowing your craft, being on top of all of those things. So when that person or that opportunity comes along, you are so prepared. If nothing else, you make a favorable impression on you as someone who they would want to work with, a problem solver, someone who's solutions oriented. So you put the time in towards that, and the results the payoff may not happen immediately, but it will never not pay off. Eventually it will bear fruit for you.
Absolutely, because you're low key not even realizing it, but you're building a superpower.
Right.
So that when you're in the trenches, because some folks get in the trenches and during the headlights,
Right.
like just freeze up. Some folks be like, okay, take it on the chin, like let's keep moving. So it's a quiet, slow build, but it's there.
Yeah. You also said something really important too. When you have to make certain decisions, it's the story that's driving those decisions.
Yeah.
And so preparate, like on the writing side with us, that would be like Friday night, you're asked to write a script as a page 1 rewrite on TV, and
it happens.
Monday morning or Sunday night it has to be done.
Yep.
And you're used to having 8, 9, 10 days.
Right.
So that comes with experience. But if you are prepared to a certain level, you give yourself a chance. And that's what you have to do. It's like you're not going to be gifted extra time, extra budget. Carl hit the nail on the head. Like, it's problem solving to get it done and get it done well. But when you're not sure, I talk to writers who are undecided on certain things. It's like, what serves the story? What is the best servant of the story? Think about the story on a whole and let that be your guide in terms of what you have to do next.
Awesome. So at this time, I want to open it up to the audience, since we got some people in the audience. Anybody have a question, thought? Aaron, Greg, Eric, you got something? That's good. Say your name and go ahead, just give us something. You've been listening. You know what's going on. Turn it around the other way, though. This one? There you go. No. One more time. See the hole? There you go. Perfect.
Oh, okay.
What your name
Hello,
is?
gentlemen. My name is Greg Simon. I'm a director and producer. I guess back in the day,
When you was young, you're not a kid anymore?
there was there was opportunities to try to network and meet people, to get shadowing opportunities on shows. Now it seems like there's a lot of barriers in this industry. One of the latest barriers seems that in order to get shadowing opportunities on certain shows for people that want experience, they have to get into one of these programs.
Yeah.
And not everybody's going to get into one of these programs. The studios now are so focused on only allowing shadows from the programs and not from another networking opportunity or relationship. So is there any advice you can give out to the young youngsters out there that are looking for those first opportunities, whether they're shadowing, or is there something else now, another way of starting to get that experience and be seen and see yourself in life?
Well, shadowing really got disrupted heavily because of COVID.
Yeah, for sure.
They wanted as few people on set as possible just for safety concerns. So that was 3 years from 2020 to 2023. Shadow was pretty much nullified, and then they were like, okay, if we're gonna have a shadow, it'll be program sanctioned. I'll say this: if you can get access to a showrunner or more so than a showrunner, a producing director, finding out who these guys are, and reaching out to them and imploring that you will be willing to shadow. And also have to keep in mind that most productions aren't in LA anymore.
Yeah.
So, if you are willing to travel, I mean, I know it's all costly, but if you're willing to go to this, be it New York or Toronto or Budapest, and say, I just want to shadow, that's real talk. It's like, productions, Budapest, London, Cape Town, it's thriving out there. Romania, yeah, they're out there. And if you're willing to show up out there, the opportunities can. So I would say reach out to producing directors and showrunners more so than because I never got into a program or anything like that. And the program works for some, doesn't necessarily work for everybody. Nor is it a guarantee that it will launch your career as well. There's a bunch of people with these programs. All they can say is they went to the program. So it's not the end of all be all. But I would say find other ways to get access. If you have a show that you want to target that show. And not just the showrunner or the producing director, the UPM, the AD, anybody that can get you in there, the people to hire, or not even that, but just people that are on set. Because someone could say, I'm going to invite you to set today. It's for a set visit.
Yeah.
And that could parlay into shadow. You know what I'm saying? And just say, listen, I don't have to shadow the episode. Just let me get one day. You know what I'm saying? And like, if you see a production, you drive down the street, pull up. And just say, hey, who can I talk to? Is there any AD around I can talk to? And just have those conversations. And I mean, I think it could possibly go a long way because, a friend of mine, Taj Paxson, said, there's not a lot of traffic on the extra mile. You know what I'm saying? So when you go that extra mile, put that extra effort, you'd be amazed at some of the opportunities that could present itself. So, I mean, sometimes just asking somebody, you'd be amazed at what can happen. And a lot of people try to create these buffers, but like I said, ADs and UPMs and producing directors they aren't celebrities. You know what I'm saying? They're, for the most part, blue collar workers.
Most of them are approachable.
And they're approachable. You say, this is what I'm trying to do. I just want to get on set and observe. I think the biggest thing you want to let them know is I'm not crazy.
Right.
I'm not going to come on set acting a fool. I just want to get on set, and here's why I want to get on set. Because this is what I'm trying to do. Here's what I have done. Here's who I am. This is my pedigree. It's like, okay, all right. Well, go talk to this person. And that can start the journey in that regard. So I would say that.
Yeah, I'm gonna flip it for the TV side. If you're a writer, you listen and you want to get in TV, you gotta be in a fellowship. Like I wouldn't have anything if it wasn't for a fellowship. I just feel like writing TV is so hard right now. There's only one staff. There's only one staff writing job, lower level, in these 8-room shows.
They're all top.
Now
top
instead of 600 shows, it's 200. Yeah. Like I think. I really focused. The one thing I did that was very good was I focused on fellowships early. I entered 4 times, like 4 years. I just think people don't. I don't think people have the diligence to keep getting no. You know what I'm saying? And I entered them all. You know what I mean? And then 1 year I ended up getting into the finals with Warner Brothers. Got all the way to the interview, didn't get in, and then I got into Nickelodeon. And then that same year I got into CBS because I didn't trust Nickelodeon was gonna make it pop. You know what I'm saying? Like, And so to me, if I'm a TV writer, I'd be trying to do fellowships, 100 miles of running right now, every year, writing a new sample every year, and trying to get in and working on the bio. Number two, I'll be trying to meet as many people as possible, because showrunners are only hiring their friends, the people they know to write on these shows. So I'd be coming to LA trying to get in these mixers and organically trying to meet people. And then number three, I'll be trying to do my own shit, like Carl was talking about. I'll be shooting the new Awkward Black Girl show, or your own version of Atlanta or South Side of Flatbush that I worked on, and so that people could like see it and create an audience, because somebody might be like, "Man, who wrote that?" Like, you know what I'm saying?
If you don't mind, for the newer people in the audience that we have, tell them your story, how you wrote your Atlanta and how that helped you.
Yeah, I mean, the first script I ever wrote was a Atlanta spec, and because I was in this UCLA online writing program that I was doing at night when I was working in the day, 9 to 5 at a record store, and it was when it was on Skype, it wasn't on Zoom. But I wrote that because it was a show I loved, and I had an idea, and that ended up getting me my first gig. Like, once again, being in the right situation, sometimes like even taking a class, I met a teacher and she knew somebody, a producer, and she was like, I got a student that because of my Atlanta, she was like, you should meet this producer.
Is that the one you posted though?
Yeah, I don't know, but I'm gonna get to that though.
Sorry.
So the producer hired me to write a movie on Mac Dre.
Oh, that was the one.
Atlanta.
Yeah. Got it.
That was the first time I ever got paid for anything before I got to Nickelodeon. But what's funny is then I started leaking the script on Twitter, because another screenwriter Twitter was popping during
the Rona.
during COVID.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, you became a superstar.
Right. It was, bro, I got so many showrunner meetings off of, once again, timing. You know what I'm saying? But also
everybody was willing to do a Zoom.
Everybody was like posting their stuff. Everybody was at home. It was like this Black screenwriting community and screenwriting community that
boosting it
whenever. Everybody was retweeting and like rooting for each other. And so I took a chance and I started leaking pieces of my script and my pilot, and it ended up like taking off for me and getting me meetings and stuff like that. But yeah, no, I definitely feel like, also, if you want to write TV, write specs. Because at the end of the day, what you don't realize, when you get in the room, you're not writing your show. Like, you know what I'm saying? You're writing somebody else's voice.
Tracy, how many damn specs did we have to write before we wrote a pilot?
Many specs.
I think I did 7 before.
And I'm listening to SAEED. It just took me back. It's all surreal. But I love what he said about doing your own project in addition to taking all of those steps. And people say,
did a documentary, like
documentary, web series, but also to the earlier question and to Carl's point, like you cast the net as wide as possible. And I understand for directors, you see directors who are getting into those fellowship programs and they get to shadow. There's only like 1 or 2 slots and all kinds of people are applying, or a former actor who's affiliated with the studio, they become a director, and like it may feel unfair. I get all of that. Cast the net as wide as you can. Pull up, as Carl was saying, there's different productions. Yes, there are less here in LA. We're going to focus on what we can control again and what we can do. We're going to stay in a positive space. Yeah, for sure. And if it comes down to just crewing up on your friends' projects, then do that. But I would also add to your question, Greg, like when you approach these people, you also make it very clear you're willing to help. You're not above getting a coffee, go for it, and doing whatever you have, so that you are an asset to them. At least they know you're thinking in a way that you're looking to be helpful to them and not just get something for yourself. And so, yeah, you have to write specs. Going back to writing and television, I would say write what it is you think you can get read. Like if you feel like somebody has an interest, is going to look at your pilot, then go with the pilot. But of course, if you're applying to the programs, which you should be, you're going to have to do both. And I'm inspired by SAEED. Like I'm a
Yeah.
many years ago. Did the ABC Fellowship, but I also
Were you in
continued
the first
to
one? Or
That's
second?
tight.
not the first one,
Okay.
but close
One of the-
enough.
yeah.
And
I
then
love it.
Malcolm Lee was before me,
Mhm.
but so that's a long time ago. But I was also a finalist for CBS twice,
Come on.
and maybe had I heard SAEED back then, I would have
Kept going.
kept going and been encouraged.
I ain't have nothing
With all
else
of
to
them.
do.
Look, bro, listen, CBS, Writers on the Verge, NBC,
Yeah.
Warner Brothers. I
Nickelodeon,
could
yeah.
go on, and I was blessed to get a show produced. But we'd written that script. Hilliard knows the
Mhm.
story.
Uh-huh.
We wrote Lace 2012,
Crazy.
2013.
Yeah.
Adam Starks and myself.
Mhm.
Shout out to
Shout out
Adam.
to Adam.
But the show didn't get sold until 2020.
That's fire.
So we have all walked the winding narrow road.
I have a question for both of you guys. Staying in the fellowship lane. If I'm a writer or a director, whatever, and I've been applying these fellowships, what would you say to them? And I love what you said about casting the wide net and doing these other things. They say they're doing those as well, but they still adamant about trying to crack this fellowship nut. What would you say to them saying, okay, what am I not doing? What do I need to do? I guess, how would someone go about finding a fellowship advocate, or is there a way to get some advice on how to apply in a way that can improve the opportunity?
I think certainly you listen when they have those forums where they all kind of come out and kind of give general information. You never know when you can pick up something useful. I don't know if there's one thing necessarily, but the common thread in my experience is that spec that you're writing should be a show that you love. Like usually the one that breaks through and kind of gets you in, you love that show. You are connected with that show, and therefore you know it and understand it so well. You're going to write a spec that the writers in the room, that like if they were at that point in time in the story, that's the direction they might go in. Mm-hmm. And so you don't want a show that you think they might like or that they might be aware of. It can't be super obscure, but if you love it, that's probably the one you want to pursue. Because your best work is going to come from that passionate place.
Yeah, I'd say that I think the difference for me, because I kept applying over and over, and one of them was I hated the bio part and I hated the writing segment, and I felt like that shit was weak. I had weak writing segments leading up probably to like year 3. I remember the years, like the 3rd year, I was like, I heard an interview with Carol Kirshner, who runs CBS, and she was talking about how they judge the writing portion damn near equally as the script. You know what I'm saying? And I remember one year I was like, all right, let me knock this writing portion
Now,
out.
explain it to me like I'm a fire. The writing portion is what exactly?
So the writing portion is like, why do you want to be a writer? It's like a pair. It's like you got like, I don't know, like 400 words, 300 words to describe why you want to be a writer, what influenced you. Like it's a writing portion that you have to, that everybody doesn't enter because of this shit. Like there's a lot of screenwriters who like, I ain't writing this goddamn essay, right? It's like it's like an essay. It's like a personal statement.
Part biography, but a personal statement in which you're selling yourself also.
And when I heard her in this interview, which was going back to what you said, is like sometimes they give roundtable discussions on the fellowship, what it takes to get into it, also with other directors and writers from the fellowship. Mm-hmm. And I remember that she said, we judge the personal statement almost on an equal level as the spec. And I was like, damn, my shit been light the first 2 years. Like I'm just throwing bullshit in there. Mm-hmm. And I remember my 3rd year entering, I really sat down and was like, early in the year, I was like, all right, I'm going to work on this personal statement now. Mm-hmm. And I started writing that personal statement, really crafting it, going back and forth, getting real deep, spending the time I would on a script. And I would kind of use portions of that because each fellowship has different series of questions. Mm-hmm. Like one might be like 3 questions. One might be like, give me your personal statement. But I would like organize them and put them, but I already had the chunk really refined. And that really helped me because I realized, oh, some of these people are reading a personal statement before they even put your shit
Oh yeah,
in the pile to get to the script.
it's one of the most important parts.
And I didn't realize
Yeah.
that. And I think when I did that, so I would say if you're not placing in these, I mean, Hilliard says this all the time. Like if you're not placing in contests, there's something further going on.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Because I do feel like if you're talented, and I'm just keeping it real, like I was like that where I entered for 2 years. I didn't play shit, but then I started being like, bing, 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 bing. Everything was placing.
Right.
And I do feel like
Wait, let me just ask you though, what changed in what you were doing?
I was constantly working on that script.
Okay.
I didn't stop.
Right.
Like, I think some people, they get out of school and they think,
They
you know,
think
because
they
I
ready.
had got out of school with a
Right.
script.
Right.
And I didn't stop. I kept working on it. And I think at the end of the day, what I would say is you need to make better shit. I mean, it's hard to say, you know what I'm saying? But it is the truth.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, you need to make better stuff. And it's hard, like we were talking about earlier, to look at yourself critically and from above, or even ask somebody else, man. That shit might hurt.
Yeah.
But you might be like, bro, what you think
Mhm.
I need to work on? You know, when you have that community,
Right.
you could be like, oh
Yeah.
man, well, I think you're a really good writer, but you don't really go out and meet nobody. And that shit might hurt. Like, bro, you a hermit, but you gotta hear it.
Yeah,
And then,
yeah.
so then
There's lots of people like that.
They
They write their asses off, but they ain't out.
ain't outside.
Yeah.
Or you outside, bro, you outside too much.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? And so I think some of those people, like Carl saying, I think you do need to look internally and be like, all right, maybe I need to spend more time on my personal statement, and maybe I need to like shoot something else, stop sitting in the same reel in or whatever. You know what I mean? Like stop, because that's another thing. Is like I remember like I had to write another spec.
It's like using the same headshot from 12 years ago. You don't even look like that no more.
Exactly. And then I wrote a different spec. I wrote an Insecure, and then that's the one that like started
Right.
pinging for me. And another thing you don't realize is even if you don't place, they're still keeping you in the book.
Yeah.
So you don't know. You could have been, they could have cut off, and you would have been like, they cut off at 5. You was like 12, but you don't know.
You have no idea.
And so you like, man, I'm done. But it's like, bro, you hella close.
Yeah.
So I just feel like, man, just keep working at it. And
but there's one other step to that why I tell people to do it. When I used to do, you know, Tracy, we go way back. When I used to do fellowships 20 years ago, it was for me about seeing where my script was. Tracy read it. Kim read it. Ron read it. You know what I mean? All of our friends read it. They gave me their notes already. Carl read it, whatever, right? And now I'm like, okay, I did my fixes. So here, let me see how I do in Scriptapalooza. Oh, I made it to the semis. Okay,
Exactly.
cool. Let me see how I'm in Austin. Oh, only made it to court. Okay, I got some more work to do. That's what it was for. I wasn't trying to win.
No.
I was trying to win with
Just trying to elevate.
I was trying to elevate me, but I was trying to go, where am I with everybody else? Okay, all my friends like it, but what does the universe say?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Oh, the universe is saying, oh, you won, you know, you won Sundance. Oh, you won Austin. Oh, you won. I was like, oh, shit, I'm starting to win shit. You know what I mean? I was like, okay, cool. I'm on a level now. Your confidence goes up. So that's what I feel for me. That's what it's for, is you see where you are and to help you build your confidence. That's what it was for.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We got a question from Jade. Tell us who you are, what you do.
Hi, my name is Jade Hunter. I am currently a master's student at USC.
Yay.
Hell
I'm
yeah.
entering my final year in the film production program, and I'm following the producing directing track right now. But I want to know if you could go back in time and give your younger self advice, what would you say?
I would say to embrace failure.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? Because for years I was like, I can't fail. Cannot fail.
Unpack that a little bit.
I mean, you know, coming up, you're like, okay, like you said, you striving for this grand slam. I'm swinging for the fences,
Right.
but never really thought about like, okay, what if I swing and I miss? You know what I'm saying? And how do I handle that miss?
Right.
Because I was under the impression that if I fail, that's it. It's over. It's the end of the world. I'm done. You know what I'm saying? And until you fail, and when after you fail, you're like, oh, wait a minute. It's like getting punched in the mouth. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of folks, especially this climate, probably need to get punched in the mouth. You know,
They ain't been punched.
they ain't been punched
Yeah.
ever. You know, you can punch them out. It gives you a level of clarity
Yes.
you didn't know you needed, but you had, and you move differently. Say, okay, I need to do some things, some self-defense
Some
moves,
internal work.
some internal work.
Wax on,
Like, wax
off.
on, wax off. You know what I'm saying? That's my Karate Kid resident. Wax on, wax off. So I'll say that. I would say to embrace failure and see it for what it is, which is a stepping stool to learn to become better, not to quit. Because I look at it as if I fail, I'm done. That's it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Movie's over.
It's like I didn't win American Idol, but they're the ones who are the most popular who didn't win.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's a funny
Exactly.
shit.
Yeah. And just, being honest with yourself and saying, okay, you're not perfect. But as long as you are striving to get better each time, that's what keeps you going. And you may put something out that you think is great, and it's not. And you say, okay, wow, that did not go as I planned. Take it on the chin. Say, okay, what can I do the next time I go out? And just put yourself on the path to keep elevating. And don't beat yourself up. Because when I failed, I really beat myself up to a point where I didn't do anything for years. And that didn't serve anything. It was the worst thing I could have done.
You can get depressed in this industry
Yeah,
so fast.
depression is real. You know what I'm saying? And being honest with yourself, because some folks are depressed and don't even realize it. The first year I was depressed, I didn't even know I was depressed. I just know I wasn't doing what I normally did.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say that, accept failure as being a part of the process. That's the biggest thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you do have moments of doubt, moments of depression, to acknowledge them. Don't sweep them under the rug. Like, no, I'm good, I'm straight, and you're not straight. You know what I'm saying? I think, especially because people of color, we used to just swallow shit. And that shit turns into hypertension, diabetes, cancer, and so forth. And you're like, no, I'm good. And you're killing
LAPD,
yourself.
something.
Right.
Something to
You're
get
literally killing yourself. So I would say that, and just keep going. Just resign yourself to saying, like me and my buddy Ken Young said this back when we were 22 years old, like we're either going to do this or we're going to walk the earth.
Mm.
We made this pledge to each other 22
Do or
years
die.
old. Do or die. And we both still at it. So so knowing what you were committed to do and saying like I'm going to do this, regardless of what happens, I'm going to do this.
I think you have to be willing to do this. I want to hear both of you guys' thoughts as well. I feel like you have to be willing to do this if you never made money. Like if you could do that, the money comes. Like they always say, it eventually comes. It may not come when you want it, but it's like, God, that's right on time. You know what I mean? It's like a weird thing where it's like, I didn't even know. All of a sudden, somebody said, hey, will you take this meeting? Hey, I want to meet you, introduce you to this person. You in a coffee shop, and they recognize something, and you're like, oh, hey, come over tomorrow and talk to me about this thing. And you're like, huh? And it turns out to be the thing. You know what I mean? It's like a weird thing that happens. You know what I mean? So, go ahead. What you think, Tracy?
Oh, Carl said it so eloquently.
I don't know about
Wouldn't
eloquent.
add too much more
Let me
to
get
it.
my foot on, man. Let me
I don't
see
know.
You know,
It had too much Chicago on it. I
Chicago swag on
the
it.
persistence and continuing. I would maybe add, you can't just do the things with which you are comfortable.
Bad part.
That's true.
That's good. Being honest with oneself is big. And so it's going to take a little bit more than just where you are comfortable. I was big on networking. Hilliard knows we were at all the different events, but I might be at an event and I might not open up my mouth and speak. Or I may only just kick it with my friends or people I already knew, which was not
It
sufficient.
was safe.
So being honest about those kind of things, a willingness to push past your comfort zone, maybe a little bit more discernment as far as cultivating the relationships and the networking. As my brother said, and sometimes we can be hermits. And we're great writers, but we're in our rooms and nobody's ever getting exposed to us or our work. So that comes with time. So I wouldn't be too tough on the youngster. But maybe a couple of more of those bits of discernment.
I got two. I would say one, don't be above any meeting, because one thing that benefited me was like, I remember I took meetings that turned into shit that was life changing.
Yeah.
And I had no idea this meeting was going to be life changing just because I was open to it. And then also you meet other creators who, like I just met a creator when I was at the Redwood, Fest. And she was
Brave Maker.
Brave Maker. Yeah. She had dope short, and now she got, I met with her and I liked her vibe, and now she got Ridley Scott attached. Like, you know what I'm saying? As a producer.
Crazy.
So at the end of the day, it's like, don't be above any meeting. You know what I'm saying? And ego is the enemy. At the end of the day, it's all about the work and the story. And then probably my last one is just like double down on your taste, especially being a producer and a director. I think what separates you and what's so dope to me that is like you coming directly from watching shit. You're not jaded by the industry and all that type of stuff. You ain't beat down. Like that's your superpower, is being able to know like what's going on in the zeitgeist. Because at the end of the day, we're making movies and television shows for the people, not, you know what I'm saying, us. That's it.
Well, just talking about networking, one thing I love about Jade is she come in here and I have my friends in here. Next thing I know, she on the award shows, she working in them. I was like, go ahead, Jade.
Yeah.
Look, because she know what she's doing. And she be stepping it up. And they be like, we want to bring you back. You know what I mean? For position stuff. So she only playing. That's what I love.
Let me say something real quick to you specifically, Jay. Because of who you are, there are going to be people that are around to try to shut you down.
For sure.
Just because of who you are. The minute you walk in a room filling up space, and like, how can I fuck her up?
Yeah.
Know that going in. Don't let them people fuck with you. You know what I'm saying?
Don't let the sun go down on you, girl. That's all.
Yeah,
That's right.
yeah. Protect yourself.
Yeah.
And just know that.
Protect your neck.
And like, don't even take it personal sometimes. Like, okay, this ain't even me. This their thing. So I'm not going to let you disrupt my flow and my forward momentum.
I would just add this, and I've said this to you before, just be thinking that on your producer side, since you got about a year left in school,
That's tight.
you should be doing like Carl and everybody was saying, as much stuff as possible, because really you're building your not only your resume, but you're building your wisdom of experiences on set, especially from your producer side. You should be like, oh, we did the sci-fi thing, so I know green screen. Oh, we did this horror film, so I understand how to work with, action or whatever the topic is. Now is your time to experiment. So when you get out and use your director side, you see where the strengths are, where you lie. If that makes sense, you know what I mean? Aaron?
First, thank you for being here. My name is Aaron, writer, not aspiring.
Let's go. That's what's up.
Mostly want to work in TV, and I know writers tend to stay the same, but directors change very often. I've had the opportunity to shadow a couple of directors myself and kind of see what that whole perspective is like. But I wanted to ask you, like, do you have any tips for writers on working with directors? It's like, how do you collaborate with each other and not step on each other's toes, or not step on your director's toes, even though it might be your episode that he or she or they is directing.
Well, here's the thing. As a director, my job is to service the story, to facilitate the vision of the show. That's number one. Number two, try to create a collaborative space with the writer, so that you and remind each other that we're a team. You know what I'm saying? Offense, defense, special teams. It's not like I'm the Eagles and you're Dallas. You know what I'm saying? That's not the case. We're always on the same team. And always asking the right questions and approaching it with a level of integrity and humility, like, okay, I'm trying to deliver the best episode for both of us. And if we are both on the same page with that, I think it's if you start from that as your foundation, say, okay, if you have questions or something you may bump on, you can explain why you're bumping on something. Like, is there a way we can execute this in a more clear manner and so forth? And just, showing, I think the biggest thing is showing how invested you are in the work. And if it's a mutual investment, I think both parties will meet. If you up texting a question at 11 o'clock or 1 o'clock in the morning, they up too, like, I was just thinking about that too, and you all going back and forth. The next day, you all can start on the same page with a whole different level of momentum. So I would just say the biggest thing is trying to figure out that collaborative landscape. And just know that I'm not competing with you. You're getting your title. I have my title, but the goal now is to make a bomb episode. And showing it says, man, that was awesome. We did that. That's the goal.
Hey, Carl, you told me when you shadowed in the past, you would come with your all your shot list and everything ready as if you was directing the episode.
Absolutely.
Can you talk about that a little
Yeah, I approached it like, and I tell cast in the shadow, like if you get a shadow opportunity, approach it as if you are the second string quarterback, and you
Like that.
so that you might get the call.
Yeah, that's
Like,
good.
yo, hop in there.
That's good.
Go. Are you ready to go? Any single day.
Right.
It could be the end of the day. Because you never know. They might say, hey, man, you want to shoot the second unit stuff? You just don't know.
Yeah.
So you want to be ready. You know what I'm saying? So I would prepare as if I was going to take this. I would prepare as if this was my opportunity. Meaning, I knew the storylines, I knew the story arcs, I knew the mythos of the show. I had my shot list ready to go and everything like that, so that it never happened.
Sure.
But the fact I'm in there and I have all these, like, what do you, and they, what do you
people are watching though.
They're watching.
Yeah.
Everybody's always watching. You know what I'm saying? And I would take notes. I would look at how they shot it as opposed to how I would have shot it. I'm like, wow, I had 6 setups. They got 4. Okay. All right. Oh, I'm thinking about a single camera.
Right.
Coming from in the
Yeah,
building.
yeah, yeah. That's it.
They got A and B, and
That's
some
it,
days they
Justin.
got C. Oh, when did you choose to have a C camera? Oh, big days. I got 12 people sitting around the room, and
Right.
we got 4 hours to get this 3-page
Yeah.
scene.
Got that conference room table.
Exactly. Like the C camera comes
Yeah.
in and is able to get in there. Like, oh, incorporating all cameras into the space so that all cameras are working at all times. So little things you start picking up. So I would just say that, you know, going in with the mindset of like, okay, all right, I'm on the bench, but if this quarterback gets a concussion, can I come in and run the play? You know,
Right.
can I come in and talk to these actors about their intention in this scene? What is this scene about? Oh, I know what the scene is about. Yeah, they're having a drink at a bar, but it's really about the axis of power shift and knowing that, you know what I'm saying, and being familiar with that. So I would say that's how I would approach it.
Yeah, I want to add on to his question, Aaron. I think it's crucial for TV writers and screenwriters in general to start getting relationship with directors, because Hollywood respects directors over writers anyway. So I feel like what you should be doing is trying to align yourself with dope directors. One thing I did is I look at it just like music, where like I tell Hilliard all the time. I remember I did a song with Kendrick Lamar because Kendrick Lamar because he sounded dope. This is before he was Kendrick Lamar. Right. Talent recognized talent. So one thing I did when I broke into the TV thing is like I would look at people's shorts or look at people who was in AFI, and I'd be like, oh, I want to meet that. Who won AFI? I want to meet that director. Right. And see if, look at their short. I'm not saying you just need to be somebody. And I met a friend of mine who had got his short. His name is Emil. He had one of the dopest shorts I saw. It ended up getting in HBO, and me and him worked on a television show together. Right. And then I just saw a short maybe like a few months ago that was amazing. And so now when I get a television show, that director is in my mind. You know what I'm saying? List. Yeah. Or there's another director I know, and she's a writer, and me and her are going to work on a feature. Like, you should be cultivating and working with people that you deem talented, especially directors. Because at the end of the day, Hollywood love directors. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it's a seesaw.
Well, let me say this. It seemed like where from we sit.
I mean, well, because, like, for example, television is a writer's medium.
Yeah, no, for
fair.
sure. Yeah,
so,
for sure.
I mean,
that is fair.
There's only one Chris Nolan.
Yeah, you're right about
Actually,
that.
that's 2. My boy Chris Nolan. Shout out to you, Chris.
Yeah.
But I'd say it's a seesaw thing.
Yeah,
some situations the director is the dominant force.
Yeah, for sure.
But in television,
no,
in
it's
most
a writer.
cases,
Yeah.
it's a writer situation. But that being said, though,
I'm still looking.
I'm learning, not learning, but realizing it's always being reinforced to me that writers like working with directors that have a point of view.
Facts.
That will challenge them and say, you know what? I think we can make this better.
Facts.
What do you think about this and this and that? And there's some writers that want you to just do what they want you to do. Just do what I say. Some writers like, best idea wins.
Always.
You know what I'm saying? And when you have that type of playground, that you're right for just amazing creativity and elevated content. You know what I'm saying? So, I'll say this. I try to remove the power dynamic as much as possible. Meaning, I'm not going in there like throwing my weight around. That doesn't really work for anybody.
Yes,
you're the big fighter. Yeah,
right. How do you make this the best thing it can be? You know what I'm saying? And I love working with writers that feel the same way. Like, man, all the things you've done? Like, but I'm just trying to make this one work. I'm like, I like that.
I love that.
You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to make this one work. Let's focus on this one and make this the best we can be. And that comes from, trying to remove the hierarchy,
Yeah.
on set. Like I speak to a PA the same way I speak to a producer.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? And that and the crew sees that.
Mm-hmm.
And when you
Yeah.
acknowledge somebody for their work and their craftsmanship,
It goes a long way.
It goes a long way, man, because not every day is going to be rosy. And when you bank equity with a crew, like, yo, guys, this is going to be a long day. I'm sorry. They say, you know what? You've held us down. We like how you treat us. We got you on this one. You know what I'm saying? Because I shadowed some crews where the director wasn't the nicest person.
Mm-hmm.
And that 11th hour where he really needed the crew to really have his back. It was like,
half-ass work.
You about to see, you about to witness this crew knowledge. And it was a unanimous front. The crew was like, this guy? No.
That OT ain't worth it.
Oh, no. They're like, no. I mean, it just pays to be, I've been fortunate to work with a lot of extremely talented people that are not assholes.
For sure.
To prove to me, like, you don't have to be a jerk to get amazing work.
Yeah.
Get what you need. You know what I'm saying? Everything's worthy of a conversation and consideration. And the barking of it all doesn't necessarily have to. I remember that era where you had tyrants on set.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's kind of gone away in a lot of cases where it's not as tolerated as it once was.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a way to really get some amazing work, and everybody can go home like, wow, that was a great day, as opposed to being stressed out and pulling their hair out and like T- to get this person out of here.
For sure. Anybody else have it? Grab it. Bringing Greg back in.
Just something to add to hopefully further inspire what Carl was saying to people out there listening and wanting to shadow or maybe having shadowing opportunities coming up. So a while ago, I had an opportunity to shadow on a show called Manhattan, which you might have seen that. Yeah, really, really great show. And I was shadowing a director who I really admired, Dan Addis, and he had done a lot of, he had come from The Wire, a lot of big HBO stuff. This was someone I really admired, and when I showed up, he said, and we were doing 2 episodes back to back. While he was prepping, he said, "Look, the best use of your time is pretend you're going to be directing this episode and go around and start shot listing, go to the sets and figure it all out." So I would see wherever the crew wasn't, and I would go and I prepped the episodes and I did all that work. But I was a little stressed. I'm like, man, this guy. This is a real creative. This is someone I really admire. I got to make sure the shot list,
because he might ask to look at it.
Okay, half-ass that shot
just
list.
to do this, And it was funny because and this is where really that advice and then executing it, and then you see the payoff and you see all this happen in real time. So it's day 1 of shooting. It happened to be shooting, I think, the very first scene of the episode, right? And he blocked the scene with the actors. I watched and he did all this thing and everything. Then went off to start lighting. And then he came and said, "Okay, now let me see what you came up with." Right?
There you go.
So I got my pages out and I walked the thing with him and I showed him. I said, and now what I was thinking, since this is the opening of the episode, it reads that he's drinking. The guy's drinking behind what's the Stranger Things block right now? Yeah.
Nicholson.
The older guy.
Yeah, the older guy. Yeah. Great actor. It said he's drinking, and so they go, what if you start with the cameras below the desk and you come up and rise over the desk as he's picking up the glass thing and drinking? He's like, I'm still
Good.
So
It's visual.
At that moment in time, I felt really good that I rose to the challenge that I was given to really step up and do the work, and then I got to see it kind of pay off in real time and get the respect from someone that I so much respected, and then gave me that confidence that, okay, when I get that opportunity, maybe I know a little about what I'm talking about.
Greg's being nice. He's actually directed episodic TV and movies and shit.
That's fire.
Yes,
I want to add one on there because this is something you and I talk about a lot. Is like bringing additive value to your relationships. Like that's one thing that he did where it's like he's on set, instead of him half-assing it, he's really taking it serious. He saw a shot, he brought added value to, and I feel the same way. Like I'll meet executives, producers. There's a producer I was just talking to a couple of days ago, and he was talking about how much he likes the movie Hamnet, right?
Oh, yeah.
So this morning I'm on YouTube. I saw a video, because I deep dive. I saw a video of the director talking for 30 minutes with Deadline, screenshotted it, emailed it to him.
Smart.
Did you see this? Because I know that's his movie. You know what I'm saying? And so bringing added value and it ain't, and not asking for shit.
Yep.
Right.
And it ain't gotta be some whole deep dive. It's just like just being aware and just bringing added value on many different levels. Whether it's sometimes I'll meet a showrunner and they're like, man, I'm looking for this script. And I'm like, oh, I got it.
Mhm.
And then I email them the script. You know what I'm saying? And so at the end of the day, it's just about, you can do certain things that just show added value, that shows you are valuable. Because when it comes time to be in a room or on set or shadow, they like, oh, he'll go that extra mile.
Right.
He'll go. I don't have to ask him to find the script.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm in this interesting place where I've been doing it for years. Pamela, my producing partner,
Mm-hmm.
we do this thing where we rarely go to a meeting with just having the project. We usually go with, here's another element we could bring,
Mm-hmm.
so that they always see why we're producers. We never
Mhm.
just go as just the writer.
That's like,
Everything we always like, and
mm-hmm.
we also have a relationship with such and such.
Yeah.
You said if we do this, we'll do this thing.
Yeah,
You know
that's
what I
like,
mean?
You become
Like-
a vault of resource.
Yeah, like I have this this mob show that I wrote a few years back, and I sent it to Eric Dean Seaton, and he loves it. He's like, bro, put me on it. You can use my
Eric
name,
is dope.
like,
Shout out to
all
Eric
that
C.
shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so now we're pushing with my manager Rashidi. We're just gonna, I said, attach him on like he's the director. Let's go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Eric's
It's
very dope.
whether that happens or not is one thing, but we can use the leverage, which is something Ben always talks about.
Yeah.
So that's like the key.
Yeah. I want to go back to you. You mentioned Dan
Sure.
Atias, man. I gotta give him a man shout out because during the pandemic, while everybody was sitting at home, I decided to reach out to various directors who I admired, who I didn't
Smart.
know.
Mm-hmm.
And I reached out to all of them. I said, you don't know me. I've done X amount of episodes. I want to be great. Can I pick your brain?
mm.
And Dan was one of those cats he said, I hit him on his website.
Wow.
And he hit me back, like, cool. And we did the Zoom, and I asked a gang of questions about episodic television and, ways to, improve as an episodic director.
Mm-hmm.
And, man, he's a very giving man in that regard. And that being said, he has an amazing interview on the DJ website for free. And he has a book that came out last year, which kind of chronicles his career. So great dude,
Oh, I'm
man.
gonna buy
I'm gonna get that. I like that.
Yeah, man. So like I said, it's always great to, like I said, he's another one of those cats I talked earlier about that.
Mhm.
Extremely, extremely dope. That is not an asshole by any stretch of the imagination, man. So and it reminds me like you can be that person, and then give back and share with other filmmakers. It's gonna make them better as well. Because
That's the key.
like I said, he worked on the earlier seasons of Snowfall and brought in Alonzo, one of the later directors who became one of the signature directors of the show.
Yeah.
So Dan he's instrumental in a lot of people's careers and things like that. So which inspires me to do that.
What you know about Snowfall? You ain't had nothing to do with Snowfall. What you was doing?
I mean, I watched a couple episodes. Killed a couple of folks.
Yeah.
That's about it. That's about it.
You know, I saw you in one of them cars rolling by.
Throwing up them deuces.
Yeah.
Teach your man how to squabble.
Yeah. I saw you hop out.
Yeah. He ain't directing no finale episodes.
Good times. Good times.
What they call it? John Singleton episode? What they call it?
The John?
The
Oh,
John?
I know.
The finale episode. What they
Yeah,
call
the
it?
Singleton.
The Singleton.
Yeah, the
That's good.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Yeah, I often read that pilot. I just recently reread the Snowfall pilot
Fantastic.
a little while ago.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's what's up.
And so that's another thing. Just studying these shows.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Snowfall is a show that was a successful show with us in it that lasted for how many seasons was it? It was 6, which is crazy.
Crazy.
But it was in the same vein as The Wire, where every season you didn't know if it was coming back.
Exactly.
For sure.
Exactly.
Season 1, 2, and 3, they're like, we hope we come back. The pandemic and then dropping on Hulu changed the whole game.
Yeah.
More folks like, what is
The
this?
audience.
Right.
Yeah.
And then word of mouth from the audience. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So it's like it's a
Yeah.
it gets a lot of love. Now it's a global thing. Now you
Yeah.
got folks watching all over the world. You
Yeah.
reaching out like, yo, I'm hooked.
Right.
And now that you can watch, you can binge.
You can
it
do
now.
it all.
You can do it all.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Back in the day, you watched it once a week. Like, okay,
Yeah.
I missed that. Some shows you
want the
appreciate
once
better
a week.
watching once a week. Yeah, because binging is cool, but it's like you hit it so fast, you can disrupt the resonation of it.
For sure.
As opposed to watching it once a week, and you're looking forward to it. It's
Yeah,
good
I
to
see.
be excited about a show coming up.
So before we go, let's find out what everybody's doing for the holiday. And let's leave everybody with one little piece of game. Maybe something you're doing for the new year. You gave us some of the stuff you're going to do. Or, something for the kids, for sure. I start with you, Tracy.
I am writing a new pilot.
Oh,
Let's go.
It's set in DC, which is my second home.
Okay.
I love political shows. I love shows like House of Cards.
Mhm.
So I'm a little bit in that vein.
Love it.
But I also have like a hood Marion Barry
Let's go.
politician type.
All
And I
right.
mention it like I'm sharing it with my brothers here on the mic because I want to see it bear some fruit. So I'm doing that.
Yeah.
I have what I consider a pretty big vision for 2026.
Yeah.
I'm dusting off a manuscript for a book also set in DC.
Love it.
With some political folks. And I'm looking to produce a stage presentation. There's an actor you all may know named Charles Reese. Shout out to Charles.
Shout out to Charles.
Also spoken word artist, Grammy nominated.
Fire.
But he's
He does
well
all the-
known
he
for
does all the
his
Langston Hughes.
James Baldwin
that's it.
work.
Yeah.
And so Charles and I are looking to do something live on stage in 2026.
Awesome.
With music. So I have a big vision for what I'm looking to do in the year, and really just focusing on quality and the results, mindful of potential navigation in terms of business wise, what needs to happen, but really just looking to put everything in those projects, and grateful to still have the opportunity and excited about what's coming. So that's where I'm at.
What about you, Saeed? I know you mentioned some stuff.
Yeah, but nah, I just man, creating more. I wrote a pilot called The Last Romantic in LA talking about dating. As a,
Did we just go on a dating phase there?
Man, listen, it's hectic out here in these
Every
days.
time I look at he on the app.
Yeah, several of them. But yeah, I wrote a comedy spec about that I just gave to this actor that I really love. Speaking of getting attachments, and at the top of the year, I'm pitching a television show that I got set up with Scooter Braun and Steph Curry.
Yeah.
Take place in Oakland.
Okay.
So I'm ready.
When we start the room, let's go.
Man,
I'm
listen,
ready.
no, listen, this summer. No, you already know. And then other than that, man, just getting back into.
And just tell me if I don't go in there.
Oh yeah, nice. You know I ain't gonna do you like that. I'll send you a text. Sidebar that we know. But I also getting into features, like heavy. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like my reps have been telling me to get back in features, and that's where I started. So I'm like really want to write a couple feature specs and just see what happens, letting it out into the world. So just focusing on that, and then like I said, I still want to shoot short, direct one, then and write it.
Carl said, let him know.
I'm getting his email like already, and I'm getting the book that y'all talking. You know what I mean? So no.
I got a list of books for you, bro.
Okay, yeah. No, I got you. We gonna do that. So that's kind of just getting more in control of what I can control and just create and write more. Period.
What about you, Carl?
Where
you and the family going? What y'all doing?
We chilling for the most part, man. You know, I got a 5-year-old. So
Right.
I'm getting ready for her birthday coming up. So just chilling with that, being intentional with that, man. And then from the director standpoint, just building on my craft. You know, looking at my weak points and being honest with myself. Like everything we were talking about, I'm doing myself. Like, okay, where can I get better?
Wow.
What can I do better? You know, and looking at, I got, on the reps on the film side, I got a couple scripts looking at for a feature. And then just keep trying to do elevated episodic television, man. And then, keep trying to inspire other folks, man. I mean, like I said, this is a very volatile time. You know, it reminds me of 2006.
Yeah.
When we weren't in vogue for a little while.
Yeah.
All we had was two Tyler Perry movies. Tyler Perry movies is all we had going on. You know what I'm saying? So, just figuring out, the best route to keep moving forward. And like I said, got a couple things on the burner coming up I don't really want to speak on because I've learned to not speak on jinx it. Yeah. Not even jinx it, it's just not smart to even speak on it. It's actually happening sometimes. Yeah. Things can be going until the 11th hour, and then it's like it's done. It's not happening. Right? So just head down, keep moving, and just trying to keep inspiring these young filmmakers, and then also get into that landscape of creating content with folks. Because I see what people are doing. I'm like, man, I can do something like that as
For
well.
sure.
Like, why am I not doing that? You know what I'm saying? I don't just have to be this.
That's
I
what I'm
can be
saying.
this, and that as
Yeah.
well. So,
Yeah.
you know.
Well,
And,
I learned what your boy let's do something.
absolutely. Well, I also, before you even talk about what you are going to do next year, I want to issue a challenge to you, brother, because
Don't make me cry.
Come on
no,
now.
you're not gonna cry, but I'm just gonna spit at you. Like I said, now you know I'm a huge fan of the show. Been a huge fan of the show for years now, and this has become a source of inspiration, knowledge, and insight. I'm saying to you, you have an entire not community, you got a fucking universe of people. You just reach out and say, "Yo, man, I'm doing this. Can you help me?" You would be amazed who would step up and say, "What you need me to do?"
Totally gonna make me cry.
And I'm saying this could be a TV show. I know you said you're going out with some shows. That's great. I challenge you, man. You can put together a film and a TV show this year and be rocking and rolling independently.
Yeah.
Are you talking about the show, about the podcast? What are you talking about?
I'm talking about projects. I'm
Oh,
talking
yeah.
about a feature film. I'm talking about a TV series. I'm saying you
Both
have
things
both things.
can be true.
And you say, listen, let me put it. You can literally put a room together in your phone.
Oh,
You
hell
can
yeah.
you can book a series of directors from your phone,
Easily.
producers.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm saying, mind your resources, man.
Yeah, that's real.
Mind the fruits of your labor, because you've been laboring. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We hear that. I hear it every Monday morning.
Yeah.
Here come the labor. You know what I'm saying?
Here come the
I'm
labor.
gonna say what I feel. You know what I'm saying? Every week. So I'm saying, mind the fruits of your labor, brother. And like I said, you'll be amazed at who would step up for you because of what you have done for so many people in this community. Not just this community, but all over. You know what I'm saying? Because I've said this to you before. If a show like this existed when I was coming up back in the 90s, I'd have been so far ahead of the game.
Yeah.
Just listening to people who look like me, who've experienced what I've experienced, who've been doing what I've been doing, talking about their hardships and their vulnerability, their failures and so forth. Like, oh, this is doable. And I hope whoever's listening to this can take that away from us. Like, this is doable. It's hard as hell.
Right.
It's labeled impossible by a lot of folks, but it's definitely doable. And if you take anything away, just take us on this podcast as testaments, and everyone he's ever interviewed on here as testaments. Like, it is definitely doable. It's definitely doable. So I challenge you to do that, brother, in a year, because it's a lot of folks that know who you are, know what you do, they listen all the time. They may not even tell you, but they listening. And I'm saying, if you say, and not everybody may not step up. That's a possibility, but you'd be surprised who may step up. You have no idea.
I did a test the other day with this one script that I want to send to you, by the way. I sent it to parents. And I can talk about this because we're just in general. And he's just busy. But within 3 days, he read it. I was like, oh, it did. I've never sent anything to him.
Director
You know what I'm
Harris
saying?
Barclay.
Yes, indeed. Shout out to parents.
Yeah.
And so that was like, oh, okay, I can do this thing. What have I been holding out for?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So I feel you. So that's why I put everything in writing. I got my options, my shit in order. I got the paperwork. So now, new year.
So last thing.
Yeah.
I challenge you. Reach out to 3 or do 3 things that scare the shit out of you this year in regards to this. You'll be amazed what happens.
Okay.
You'll be surprised what happens. Because I'm sure people are like, I've been waiting for you to hit me up.
That's true.
It took so long.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Pamela says this all the time. She's like, if I was you, I would never not be working. With this book. So here's my thing. So we're going to Scottsdale on Thursday. I'll be there till January 5th. So my family's there, his family's there, so it's all gonna be good. Got a lot of work to do. I'm in post on my documentary. I think I told you about this doc I've been doing for years. So yesterday we had like a 2-hour meeting. I went through like the entire, line by line, and in a minute and 20, and they did, you know what I mean? We really did the details, and it's really coming along. We got it from 155, an hour 55 to 121 right now.
That's dope.
But that gives you more space now to get it to about 130-ish, whatever. And so really, really happy with where it's going. And then I told you I got these movies we're about to go out with. My mermaid film, we got into CineQuest, which is a big Oscar-nominated, Oscar-qualifying film festival. So that was our first one we got into. So we're waiting for Sundance and South by South to find out what's up with that. A couple other ones. And then Something else. Something else. One blank. Oh, just a bunch of stuff me and Pamela are doing. Just I'm out here hustling, bro. Just like every day, grinding. I got to tell you though, talking about the show. You and I talked about this. Something y'all don't know. Sometimes, every 2 months, I say I'm gonna stop doing the show. Not gonna make me cry. And it's probably because I was telling you, I would love to get like dope ass intern, somebody in here who's like really helping me do this shit, the TikToks and the YouTubes and whatever. I just don't have the time to really, really dedicate myself to it, to really get it out there the way I want to. Like, shout out to my man Matt on the ones and two. I call that camera the ones and two. Who stepped up and was like, bro, I'll take the camera, I'll help you, whatever. You know what I mean? So, but I know this isn't a regular thing. I need somebody here all the time doing this shit. You know what I mean? And because I would like for it to move the video. You know what I mean? The audio's great, but we got to be, it's 2025, 26. You know what I mean? Carl, I've been wanting to do this for years, but Lisa didn't want to do it. My man talked too much. It was like one thing after another. So it was like, hey, it was just too much. So now it's just me, and I'm rotating my guests, you know what I mean, my co-hosts and stuff. So it works out great. So then now I can do it the way I want to do it. So I'm slowly just doing like these clips and things like that. This is probably going to drop the whole episode just as it is. This is why he's moving around, just to give us a little moving. But if I had my way, we'd be on video.
So that being said, audience listening, if you are savvy with this, you're a TikTok extraordinaire, YouTube channel enthusiast, you have a skill set that is additive to something like this, you want to be a part of something like this, reach out to him.
Come on now.
You know what I'm saying? Reach out. You're looking for a way to be accessible. You want game as a writer, but you have this skill set. Reach out. This is an opportunity. If you hear this, listen and say, you know what, I can contribute. If you're serious about it, and please be serious about it. Don't be on no bullshit. Please don't be on no bullshit.
Please.
Don't come in here with this expectation of I'm gonna get put on because X, Y, Z. If you come in here and say, listen, I see what this guy's doing, I want to be a part of it, and I can contribute to this, man, reach out.
Thanks. I'm better than that. That's what's up.
100%.
So anyway, thank you guys. Thank you, Matt. I appreciate you hanging out with us. Everybody who's in the audience, Jade, of course, Aaron, Greg, Eric in the building over there. Thank you guys.
All for being here.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Hope you guys got some game. This is our finale episode of the season. Yes, indeed. We won't be back till sometime in January. So thank y'all. Thank everybody. My man SAEED, TRACY, CARL SEATON in the building.
Always a pleasure, brother.
Yes, indeed. Thank you guys. So please go on Screenwritersrantroom.com. Make sure you guys take out the t-shirts, the hoodies, the research page, the archives page. We've got everything in there. Lots of game, lots of things about what I love and what I appreciate, different podcasts and books and stuff that I love. I'm going to get some of your books, so I can have them on there too. Gotcha. Shit like that. Lots of good stuff going on, man. I feel good about the new year. But then I'm, it's a little suspect in some areas. I'll tell you offline. But good. I think one of the things I love about myself, if you can say you love yourself, is that I'm transparent. And I don't hold shit back. I just say what it is, even if it's bad about myself. Because I believe people connect to that. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yes.
So yeah, thank you guys. I appreciate it. Everybody joining me for game. Oh, please check out our new YouTube page. Please subscribe to it if you haven't done it yet. We need to get those subscriptions up. All right. Thank you guys. Everybody join me for Game All Day. You guys know how we do it on the Rant Room. On the show, we keep it real. We keep it opinionated. We keep it what, everybody?
Game all day.
Peace, y'all. Have a great Christmas. Great New Year.
Happy holidays.
Yes, indeed.